All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How's everybody doing tonight? Want to give a big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, that is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe. I would do it for your channel. Hit that subscribe and let's party. Really cool. Want to give a shout out to my6shirt.com. Whatever your persuasion. Oh, it's not working again, but the only place to get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Only at my6shirt.com. All right. What is good? We got Melted Mind Media in the building. What is good, brother? Another awesome YouTuber you should definitely go check out. Just drop the link to his channel in the chat. So very interesting show that we have for you today. I wanted to start out with a little bit of a story time. So come back with me to 8th grade. 8th grade Lutch, and still the same height, but I am so sure. I'm so sure that I wanted to be a therapist. And so from middle school, I'm like, okay, how do we fast track this? And luckily enough, there was an AP psychology course. So I took AP Psych. I was loving it. The teacher was pretty cool, but one day he got fired. What did he get fired for? For getting blown by a 17-year-old. So that was weird. That was gross. I mean, especially who it was. Like, I mean, you know, if you're going to pick, I mean, that's a whole other story. But it seemed like an anomaly. It seemed like, okay, that's one weird teacher. And, you know, teachers are teachers. They're here to help you learn and all that stuff. But it doesn't seem like it's that anomalous. It seems, maybe not that teachers are actually doing this stuff, but the sexuality, the level of sexuality that is present in schools and specifically in the classrooms is way too much. It was way too much then, and it's just been going up and up and up and up. And I think the dam is finally breaking. Hey, let's shout out Opus. Welcome to the party. Special shout out to Opus for getting the secret word on yesterday's video. Thank you. What does Opus say? I never understood celebrating sexuality and sexual preference. I don't buy that these groups have been persecuted in any big way for decades. Well, I'll disagree with you there. I certainly, you know, you were only allowed to get married if you were gay as of 2013. Trump was the first president to come into office with being pro gay marriage. So there is a reason that people in the community want to kind of come back and show that they have pride for that which they were shamed for so long. And I mean, it's in the Bible, and we all know how much of a stronghold Christianity has on our society. So I'm not going to say that there hasn't been persecution, but again, it's just gone way too far. Like we said, 2013, that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And they're still fighting. Luckily, there's been a lot of people pushing back, not just on, in our team and all of that stuff, but we also had a lot of normal people. And I think that is really what we're going to be talking about today. The fact that normal people, not people who are on the left or on the right or into politics really at all, normal people are starting to get sick of this ish. So, hey, we got David Banner in the building. Welcome to the party. Said wokeness isn't going anywhere. The TikTok generation is just coming of age. We will all see what happens when young people that have been taught the opposite of critical thinking or clout culture are able to vote. I agree with you, but I am a little bit more white-pilled on Gen Z. We're starting to see that the wokeness that they get behind is because they're young. It's not because this is who they are. They're just young, so they're in. They don't know any better. As they're starting to get older, you start to see a lot more Gen Z that is, at least not so quick to be swept up in all that BS. Hey, we got To Be Artistry in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Thank you. Will do, Melty. So just based on the fact that 10 years ago we had this guy in my school, and of course he was fired, and they brought in somebody new. And ironically, the teacher's name was Cox that they brought in afterwards. Whoever made that decision, I don't know, but gave me a good chuckle. But I wanted to, we have a bunch of different stories that I want to frame and make this argument to you guys that I think the dam is breaking, that normal people are starting to say enough with the wokeness, and that's all we need. All we need is 51% of people to not like it, and it goes away. It goes away. Because all you have to do is get it to, get it to be at the point where people don't like it, and it's not going to be anything popular. Hey, shout out to Melted Mind Media for the $10 Cash App. And you guys know, as always, every single donation comes with a treat for Morty. Shout out to Melted Mind Media. And of course, that makes you the sponsor of the stream. And coming in hot right behind him, Dan Jensen. Oh my goodness, people, you do not understand how much Dan Jensen comes through for me. How have you been, Dan? Get one there for you. Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. So yeah, we thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. So we obviously know that the Bud Light boycott and all that was going on, and then Target is now in the hot spot for their tuck friendly bathing suits and all that. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. There's just like I'm saying, there's just a lot of stuff that is coming together where a lot of people are. I think it's dying. I think wokeness is dying. So let's get into it. As always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Yesterday, we set out to co-opt and overshadow the first day of Pride Month. And although it didn't happen exactly as I anticipated or planned, I would say that we still succeeded. So to quickly review what we discussed on the show yesterday, here at the Daily Wire, we decided that we would celebrate the 1-year anniversary of our film, What is a Woman, and ring in Pride Month 2023 by releasing the film free for everybody on Twitter.
Shout out again to Melted Mind Media for being the sponsor of the stream. So yes, as you may remember, last year on June 1st, as I guess a little troll, the Daily Wire decided to release What is a Woman? I'm sure you've all seen it by now. I hope you all have. If not, I covered it right on this channel. We started just going through it bit by bit, and then I was just like, F it, let's just play the whole thing. So you can see almost the entire thing on my channel. But so this year, in celebration, they wanted to, for the anniversary, put What is a Woman out on Twitter for free for everybody to see, because it's behind a paywall. But they wanted to put it out for everybody. Hey, we got Joseph in the building. What is good? Also, Unwanted Foe. Welcome to the party. We also got Little Toes. Welcome, guys. Yeah, Joseph saying they get 30%. Yes, they do. 30% of everything. And Unwanted Foe, welcome. Said, I certainly hope wokeness is dying. It needs to be drowned out by logic, morals, and common sense. Agreed. And I shouldn't put that up in the first place, but let's be nice. So a year later, Pride Month is coming around again. And that's why they're like, all right, let's do this. Let's put What is a Woman up. And they're working with Elon. They're like, we're going to get a special landing page, all that stuff. And then last minute, like a couple days before, I think, some of the woke employees at Twitter were like, no, we're not doing this. And they not only canceled the landing page, they also blocked or put hateful conduct on the post. So not only could you not share the video, but even the people who follow the Daily Wire weren't able to see it. But then they fixed it.
And we presented this idea to Twitter several weeks ago. They were excited about it at first. They offered us the chance to buy a special event page for the film. which would have all kinds of great extra features, and it would also ensure a wide reach for the film. But then only a few days before our streaming event, Twitter changed its tune dramatically. They told us that they decided that the film is hate speech and that it violates its policies against misgendering, quote unquote, policies that they removed from the written terms of service months ago, but which they now say still exist, but in, I guess, invisible ink.
Yeah. So when Elon came in, he completely got rid of the misgendering line in the terms of service. So that's not a thing on Twitter, but apparently some people think it is.
Ink. And they told us that we could not have our event page. And not only that, but if we posted the film on our own page, they would tag it as hateful conduct and disable sharing on the film and make sure that nobody sees it in their feeds. They told us that our only way around this, the only way to post the film and not have its reach totally crushed, would be if we censored it ahead of time by removing certain scenes that Twitter found especially offensive.
And the scenes that they're talking about, there's two scenes. There's one where it's just kind of a picture of a phone on a table. You got the phone on the table and the little, like the audio things. And it's Matt Walsh on the phone with a man who is in jail in Canada because he called his daughter his daughter. That's it. Then the other scene is a guy who owns like a hobby shop, like Star Wars and stuff. And there was a trans woman who was coming in there, and he said something about, he called her she. Like, that's it. Those two things. They're like, you have to edit that out, otherwise it is hateful conduct.
And we, of course, refused that offer and instead resolved to post the movie anyway and to have this fight with them in public. I mean, if that's what they wanted, that's what they would get, and they got it. And that recaps everything we covered on the show yesterday. Things were left on a bit of a cliffhanger. It wasn't clear what would happen when we posted the movie, if Twitter would actually make good on its threats to tag it as hate speech and censor it. What, if anything, would Elon Musk do to step in and enforce his free speech promises?
So this video that we're watching is from, I think, the 2nd, 7 days ago. So yeah, the 2nd. Oh, come on.
We didn't know any of the answers to those questions. We were headed for a standoff, and we weren't sure what the result would be. Well, shortly after 8 Eastern time last night, we found out. We published the film, as promised, in its entirety, uncensored, on the Daily Wire Twitter page. And for exactly 2 minutes, everything went well. In fact, there was so much interest around the film that in just 2 minutes, 3,500 people shared it in 2 minutes. But then...
the world's most seen movie or documentary. Sounds about right. It should. I mean, it is now, for sure.
The speech suppressors moved in, making good on their threat to suppress it. 2 minutes after it was posted, Twitter slapped the hateful conduct label on it, disabled retweets, disabled comments, and removed and blocked it from everybody's feed. So if you tried to retweet it, you would get a message from Twitter saying that the content cannot be shared because it interferes with, quote, healthy conversations. And if that was not enough censorship,
I don't really think that's what Freudian slip means. Freudian slip usually has to do with like sex specifically or something that you're purposely trying not to say. I think that's just more of a mistake. But given where we're going, I forgot you guys haven't seen this yet.
Phrase, what is a woman, was blacklisted from the trending list and removed every time it appeared there. And Twitter's actually been doing that for the past year, ever since the movie originally released. They've blacklisted the film from trending, and they kept up that policy yesterday. Now, at this point, Elon Musk started to speak publicly about the issue, though his initial statements were somewhat unclear, somewhat ambiguous. Earlier in the day, he had said that the decision to censor the movie was a mistake made by many people at Twitter, and that it actually doesn't violate any of their policies.
Nope.
Yet, in spite of those statements, it was restricted and censored anyway. In response to that, Elon said last night that the problem would be fixed, that the hateful conduct label would be removed, and that sharing would once again be enabled. But he also, in a series of responses, said that the movie would be advertiser restricted, and since it's sensitive content, quote unquote, it won't be, quote, pushed to people unless they ask for it. Now, it was unclear what exactly any of that means.
Yeah, what does that mean? How do you ask for something to be tweeted at you?
At any rate, even as he said all this, the movie was at that moment being actively suppressed by Twitter. So what does advertiser restricted mean? Does it mean that advertisers control what content Twitter users can see? And if that's the case, then how can Twitter be a free speech platform if advertisers control it? And what does it mean that what is a woman is sensitive?
All right, he's slow rolling it here. Jesus. All right, but basically they got it. Let's see. Slow rolling.
Things had changed. At some point overnight, the hateful conduct flag was removed from the film, and sharing and retweeting was enabled. I started getting messages from people saying that not only could they share, but the movie was coming up in their feed. Yeah! And a few hours later, as the ultimate capstone on all of this drama, Elon Musk himself shared the film from his account with a caption urging every parent to watch it.
Elon Musk tweeting your movie saying that that parents should watch this. So again, we're talking about a turn of the tides. What is normal? What is acceptable and what is not? Just a year ago, this was the most controversial thing in the world. I mean, it still is. But now the head of Twitter is personally tweeting from his personal account saying we should all do this. So that was how the month started for Matt Walsh. And then just a couple of days ago, he was in it again.
If you've been looking for a sign that we may be nearing an end to the national fever dream that began sometime in the past decade, and that soon will once again live in a country where you can at least talk about basic facts of life without losing your job or getting dogpiled on social media, then what happened last week wasn't just encouraging, it was proof that we're well on our way to that destination.
And what he's talking about last week, meaning them allowing the video to be played and Elon posting it himself.
That may be hard to believe, but it's true, and there's no denying it now. Last week, for the first time in a very long time, it wasn't the people who understand human biology and the differences between men and women who lost their jobs. It wasn't the people who value freedom of speech who were publicly humiliated. It wasn't the civilized and respectful people who had to lock down their accounts in shame. Instead, for once, the thugs who can't win an argument without threats and coercion were the ones backed into a corner for a change. The premiere of What is a Woman on Twitter proved to be a disastrous moment for these very petty and aggressively stupid authoritarians. As we've told you, after the Daily Wire signed a deal with Twitter to stream the film for free to kick off Pride Month, a faction of dedicated censors within Twitter, many of them holdovers from the pre-Musk era, we can assume, decided to revolt. They went back on the agreement. They told us the film was hate speech because for the very simple reason that it contained speech they hated. And whatever it took, these activists inside Twitter decided the last possible minute that you wouldn't be allowed to see any of it. And you know what that whole story to begin with. They were right in a certain tomatoes. And in fact, right now is the #1 streaming film on the entire site. So just to restate, this is a documentary that came out a year ago and it instantly went to #1.
King of the slow rollers over here. Sorry, guys.
Again.
This is why I watch at 2 times speed.
Whatever you think of the film, based on the data, there's no question it's one of the most watched documentaries of the past decade. It's also one of the most impactful because it's led directly to laws that have been passed all over the country, outlawing child mutilation, other crimes against humanity. In fact, it's clear that now we can say What is a Woman is one of the most widely viewed and influential documentaries, not just of the past several years or of the decade, but of all time. And I'm biased in that assessment, of course, but all of the available metrics back it up. What an unmitigated disaster for the forces of censorship and of evil. The news organizations and big tech oligarchs who for years could have censored this film, and would have censored it in this case as well, were instead forced to watch on the sidelines as all of this unfolded, watching helplessly.
Things are changing, guys. I'm telling you.
Millions of Americans.
Don't worry. I'm not going to let him blather on for the whole show. He's just starting us off.
Could see the extent to which they're being lied to. The experts in medicine and academia that the media throws in our faces who tell us that gender ideology is settled science actually have no idea what they're talking about. They're clowns and liars and frauds. Small children could make better arguments than they do. And they've all been exposed as liars, and not about some trivial topic either. They've been covering for an ideology that condones the forcible castration and mutilation of children. Mm-hmm. And there's no hiding that now. But of course, they're going to try to hide it anyway. Despite its popularity, right now the film still has not been reviewed by a single corporate media outlet. Instead, they spent the weekend and the past week lying about it. Here's how CNN
There we go. All right. Now we're getting
everything that's happened. Listen to this.
Sorry about that.
Meantime, Twitter's head of trust and safety telling Reuters that she has resigned from the social media company. Ella Irwin, who was in charge of content moderation, stepped down the same day that Twitter blocked and then unblocked access to an anti-trans documentary. Billionaire Elon Musk has faced criticism for lax protections against potentially harmful content since he took over back in October.
Now, notice a couple of things about that clip. The first is that, like Voldemort, you can't actually say the name of the movie. I think that's correct. I don't usually use Harry Potter references, but anyway. So instead of What is a Woman, it's an anti-trans documentary.
Is it though? Is it though?
That shall not be named under any circumstance. Merely saying the words What is a Woman is violence. And what's amusing about calling the film an anti-trans documentary is that, again, the whole documentary is about giving trans activists the floor.
Exactly.
Letting them speak. We didn't interrupt them or edit anything out of context. So if What is a Woman is an anti-trans documentary, as CNN says, all that means is that gender ideology is so incoherent and so corrupt that anyone who spends any time listening to pro-trans activists will inevitably come away with anti-trans sentiments. That seems to be what CNN is saying.
I'm glad you like it, Little Toes, because I didn't realize he was going to be talking this much. We have a lot to get to, but this is a good starting point. So glad you're enjoying his voice. 2B Artistry says it feels like someone has amnesia. Did you rewind accidentally, or did he repeat himself several times? He did, yeah. That's why I'm like, yo, get to it. Like, this is what when I was watching it, it seemed like he was going to it a little bit faster. But I apologize. And like I said, he's not going to. This is the last clip from him, and then we're moving on to something else. But there's a point here. I promise.
Now, CNN doesn't realize they're saying that, of course, because none of them have watched the film or know what they're talking about. But that's the big takeaway. NBC News, for example, ran this headline, quote, Musk's response to an anti-trans video sparks 24 hours of chaos at Twitter. A conservative pressure movement built against Twitter CEO resulted in high-level departures from the company.
Yep, unwanted posts. Everything that sounds bad for the trans movement is anti-trans, even when it's trans people themselves, apparently. That's the entirety of libs of TikTok, which we actually shout out to Unwanted Vote. We have something from libs of TikTok that we're gonna check out because, guys, it gets a lot worse than people getting mad at What is a Woman.
Now, you couldn't write a less factually accurate summary of what happened over the past week. Rights put him out of sync with many other Silicon Valley billionaires.
So long story short, they are trying to, because Elon was so in favor of all this, then they don't like him. So I told you we'd be done with Matt Walsh, but only his videos for now. Because what we have here is a very, 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 very disturbing Twitter thread. I just want you guys to prepare yourselves, because this is messed up. So, from Matt Walsh, breaking. The largest trans healthcare providers in the U.S. are rubber stamping letters approving gruesome, life-altering surgeries. It's such a racket that my producer was approved for testicle removal in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. Over Zoom. First, some background. Ari Groner is a licensed clinical social worker who educates doctors on, quote, trans healthcare. And at a recent training session for Juniper Center, Groner explained that she writes whatever letters her patients want because she's not gatekeeping.
To write them this letter. We sort of will go again into understanding that I'm not going to be a gatekeeper. I'm not going to be a person that's going to stop them from accessing care. I'm not there to determine if they're trans enough.
That's exactly what you're there for. That is precisely, exactly, and only and merely what you are there for. For you to tell them whether or not this is a good idea. Listen to that again. This is the doctor who is trans healthcare.
I'm not there to determine if they're trans enough. I'm going to write them this letter.
So why not just have a website where you can just print out the letter? What would you say you do here? Hey, we got Zippy the Strange in the building. Welcome to the party, brother. Good to see ya. You came in at just the right time. This lady is insane. Insane. One more time.
We sort of will go again into understanding that I'm not going to be a gatekeeper. I'm not going to be a person that's going to stop them from accessing care. I'm not there to determine if they're trans enough. I'm going to write them this letter.
What?
we sort of will go.
I mean, that would be bad enough, right? That would be bad enough if that was the whole thing. And Dan, you're absolutely right. Stealing money from insurance companies, when really I mean, yes, they are stealing money from insurance companies. But realize that when you have insurance, there's premiums and there's what's it called? The copay. It's not like you're going in there and just, getting it all on insurance's time. You still have to pay your premiums, everything. So it's not like this is a big service. But let's move on. Groner was referring the WPATH standards, which major hospitals follow. They require that trans patients obtain a letter before undergoing surgeries. But Groner tells her audience to treat the letters as a persuasive essay and to greenlight even self-deleting patients. An essay. A persuasive essay. This is how, I mean,
we're going to kind of use any psych history that might be helpful to sort of showing the necessity. So if, let's say, a client has a psych history that includes like suicidal ideation or a suicide attempt, and you can connect it to the gender dysphoria, that actually can be sort of a positive.
Oh, it's good that you want to delete yourself. It's good. It's not unwanted foe. That's the whole point here. Is that this is in no way ethical, but it's been accepted because most people didn't know about it. Most people don't understand that this is what the process is. Most people assume that there is a process, that when you see someone like this, that they actually are there to see if you're trans enough, to see if there's other options. But it's not. They're just there to rubber stamp you and move you on to the next phase.
Persuasive essay piece, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, because you can kind of show what this is so necessary, right? This is how this is impacting this person's life, and this is why this procedure is necessary and needed.
So she's saying that you need to convince the insurance companies that you need this. So we're going to help you be more persuasive in case it's the case that you don't actually need them. Whatever, right? That's no big deal. Nobody cares. Groner explains that insurance companies won't pay for these surgeries unless the patient is diagnosed with gender dysphoria. So she says healthcare workers should provide the diagnosis, quote, we're using that diagnosis, she says, to ensure clients get that necessary treatment.
To use the DSM. And who's asking us to write these letters? So
very sick people who need help. Very sick people who need help. And you are... Exactly, Dan. Exactly. That woman earns $150 for each letter she writes. Easy money. And she doesn't even have to leave her house. She doesn't have to leave her house to ruin your child's life. She doesn't have to brush her hair. Come on. Jesus Christ.
So oftentimes we're being asked by surgeons or physicians, but in reality, it's really for the insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the letters are really for. And I think that's important for us to keep in mind. We
gotta keep that in mind because, if we don't think about the insurance companies, if we actually think about the mental health in all of this, then we might not get our money. Can't have that.
We have to use the DSM in our letters for insurance company. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. As y'all can tell, I'm not like the biggest DSM fan.
So the DSM, for those of you who are not familiar, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, is what psychology has used since, Freudian times. Not quite, but that was always the Bible of this is how you know if you're bipolar, if you have anxiety, if you're schizophrenic. What's the difference between schizophrenia and paranoid schizophrenia? All of these things, it's in the diagnostic manual. And so they update it. When I was in college studying this stuff, we had the DSM-4 TR. So it was the 4th version, but there had been some updates. They updated every so often, and we were in between. So it was the DSM-4 TR, and of course, gender dysphoria was listed in there. May as well be the dick snipping manual. Good one. Obis says, this is why insurance companies need to be illegal to lobby.
Bingo.
Agreed. Joseph said, what a disgusting excuse for a human
Haram.
being. Yep. Opus said, how can politicians properly regulate health insurance when they are taking money from them? They can't, bro. They can't. They obviously can't. And we know that. We know this. And this more and remember that it takes individual snowflakes. Or let's use grains of sand to, I don't want to talk about snowflakes. It takes individual grains of sand to make a heap. And I am telling you guys, the sand has been dropping and dropping and dropping, and now we have a mound. When people see this, they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, well, pride, whatever. Yeah, I guess. Oh, come on. Struggle streaming.
So I just think it's important to highlight because of this requirement. And this is something I'll explain to the client. So I'll talk about, your insurance company is saying as, or sort of a requirement for this letter, for the surgery, that you have to have this diagnosis. And we'll kind of talk about that. So knowing that this, sort of American Psychological Association, or DSM, there's this history of pathologizing and categorizing queer people as sort of sexual deviants, there is that minimal trust.
Then and I'm not on that point alone. I'm not even going to argue. You shouldn't really trust the DSM anymore. It's, first of all, psychology has always been a soft science. It's not like, it's not that they can't do experiments and controlled studies and stuff, but it's not like math. It's not like chemistry. It's a soft science. And it's a very new thing. And I guess I'm preaching to the choir here, but for this to be the way that they're rolling this out, it's just insane. To be says, playing the devil's advocate. If the incongruous is tied to the self-deleting, according to their research, that is how they are making the ease of access a positive. I disagree with it totally. Just saying. Yeah, no, I see what they're doing. I'm with you. I get it. It's horrible. It's horrible. Zibi says, ban non-public town hall forum lobbying. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yep. For kids. So moving on. Matt says, whatever insurance companies might think of that, it's the industry standard. The popular trans telehealth service, Folks Health with an X, see the X there, Folks, for example, instructs patients that even if they don't fit the definition of gender dysphoria, the diagnosis is, quote, needed so that the insurers pay out. In other words, yeah, you don't have this thing, but just lie about it so that you can get it. Anybody disagree with that? Didn't think so. And then, the actual Folks page says insurance companies, letters, and diagnostic codes. Insurance companies usually require a medical diagnostic code for gender dysphoria in order to cover transition-related care as medically necessary. You may not fit this diagnostic code exactly, but in some cases, the code is needed in order for insurers to pay for the surgery, which is a good thing. We want to make sure that if we are doing this stuff, that the person does actually have gender dysphoria. If we're going to do it at all, which that's another discussion, but let's just go with it and say, okay, people are choosing to do this. So if that is the case, then we would hope that there's a stopgap. We would hope that there's something there. But the professionals, the experts, the people that we put in charge of this are just rubber stamping it. Just next. Moving on. Folks, which provides letters authorizing surgeries for a nominal fee, of course, a nominal fee, goes on to admit that it's quite possible, quote, it's quite possible patients will receive a letter indicating a gender dysphoria diagnosis, even though they, quote, really do not have dysphoria. It's quite possible from the Folks site. It's quite possible the information in a letter may not be specific to you. But your dick is specific to you. or your breasts or whatever. Those are specific to you, right? So shouldn't the healthcare that you're getting regarding those be specific to you? Hey, we got Iridium Kush in the building. Welcome to the party, brother. Welcome. Keep your hat on. It is a nasty one. Yeah, for example, they may use a gender dysphoria diagnosis, but you really do not have dysphoria, even if you want top surgery. So now, remember, the whole thing was that these people are literally going to self-delete if we don't get them this surgery. Now it's, well, they want it, and they don't really fit the box, but I don't know. I don't know what their justification is. Matt goes on. We reached out to folks about this. A staff member confirmed that a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, with the word, quote, diagnosis in scare quotes, is a, quote, requirement for insurance purposes, even if it doesn't apply. So they have, hey, Chelsea, thanks for reaching out. My name is Blank. I'm one of the members navigating, the member navigators here at Folks. To answer your first question, yes, we provide letters of recommendation for gender-affirming surgeries and procedures with a little party emoji. Yay! It's so heartwarming to hear that you are out and happy. To my understanding, the, quote, diagnosis of gender dysphoria has become a requirement to have gender-affirming procedures covered by your insurance, even though the diagnosis doesn't apply to all trans folks. Of course, they would use that. If you would like, you could speak with a folks clinician in a one-time telehealth visit to answer your questions or concerns. So I guess they go ahead. And as Dan said before, the largest trans healthcare provider in the U.S., Plume, runs a similar scam. They're selling letters of authorizing surgeries for $150. It's our producer, Greg. Let's see here. We got Gregory. Received approval for his testicle removal after a 22-minute video call. In his intake form with Plume, what is good, Camcast? See, he wants him. You're going in the right direction. You want more titties in your life, not less. We should all want more titties in our life. Am I right? Where are we? He said he had dysphoria in the past, but he stated that he had never experienced it for 6 months or more. Under the current version of the DSM-5, that means he doesn't have gender dysphoria. So this is kind of how the DSM will work is, you have to be experiencing these symptoms. And of symptoms 1, 2, and 3, you have to have at least 2 for a period of 6 months. And then you have X disease. That's or mental disorder. That's how it would work. So we have the thing here. Have you experienced dysphoria as a result of the difference between your gender and sex assigned at birth? Yes. Has this dysphoria ever lasted for longer than 6 months? No. Which would mean you don't have gender dysphoria. You're just confused. And that's okay. We love you anyway. But don't cut yourself up. Moving on, Plume quickly scheduled Greg for a video interview anyway. He assumed the identity Chelsea Busey. He didn't even attempt to pass. Let me go back to that. He didn't even attempt to pass. He badly mispronounced the name of the surgery he wanted, and he made it clear he didn't know what the effect of the surgery would have. All right, guys. Like I said, buckle up. So this is our quote unquote gender affirming therapist from Plume and our boy Gregory in the top here.
So you're currently on estrogen. You're taking 6 milligrams.
It's a little quiet if you want to turn it up.
A day.
Twice a day. Yeah, right. You got it.
So you're taking 1.5 tablets per day. Okay. And
Yep.
then significant history. All right.
So let's wait. Let's wait for any questions that would actually be relevant to if you did want to genuinely determine if this is a person suffering from gender dysphoria who would be helped by surgery. Let's look out for any of those questions. We're already quarter of the way through this part and nothing yet, but they're just starting.
Let's kind of get into this a little bit. So you are seeking what surgery? Things that are of course you probably know things that are irreversible when it comes to estrogen-based therapy is breast development and testicular shrinkage.
Okay, so far we have one utterance of the word irreversible. Okay, fair enough.
Right. but there's always a possibility for hair growth to come back. That may change with orchiectomy. Once you stop, once you don't no longer have your testes, you no longer have the ability for your teeth to convert to BHT because you don't have as much teeth, right? So
They're basically just saying once you cut your balls off, then you're not going to have any more testosterone.
hair growth, facial and body hair may change after orchiectomy. Fat redistribution is affected by the estrogen. So you may have less of a change in fat redistribution if you ever stop eating, but it may change as a whole. So it's kind of.
So as much as you guys didn't really understand that, this dude's sitting in his car and supposedly, suffering, listening to this. Does it seem like she even cares? Does it seem like she even cares? But again, we're like, so what's the, surgery you're interested in today? It's like a vape shop.
It kind of does have a benefit without the spironolactone, but you still probably would definitely want to take estrogen as long as you like.
I'm not complaining about the daily pills, just to be clear. I'm just saying if it accelerates it, then it makes things faster, then that's bad.
If it makes it faster, let's do that one.
I'm not complaining about the daily pills, just to be clear. I'm just saying if it accelerates it, then it makes things faster, then that's bad.
If it accelerates it and makes things faster, that's all I care about. Matt says, nevertheless, Plume's nurse practitioner said that she wanted to write the most, quote, solid letter possible to justify surgery. Greg tells her he once wrote an essay in school about being a woman, which everyone thought was ridiculous. I am so sure that she is going to see why
biological sex.
Give me a little bit of history with your gender dysphoria. That may kind of help me. I want to make this letter as solid as possible to be like, this orchiectomy is definitely needed.
I'll tell you.
So it's interesting that she says, tell me about your dysphoria, because not I want to diagnose you properly, but because I want to make this letter as strong as possible. I want you to get the thing that you're after, whether or not it is appropriate.
I'm happy to. So when I was in school, and I actually wrote a big essay for admission to a club about how I didn't feel like my biological sex went along with how I felt, and I told people that, and they thought it was ridiculous. So because they thought I just look like a guy, so they like this is ridiculous.
Give me a little bit of history with your gender dysphoria. That may kind of help me. I want to make this letter as solid as possible to be like, this orchiectomy is definitely needed.
I'll tell you, I'm happy to. So when
All right. So again, the idea is just get this through. Get this through. Don't worry about the person. Don't worry about whether this is appropriate. Worry about moving on. So Greg also tells the nurse practitioner that his father has been prescribing him hormones for years. The nurse doesn't question this in any way. She says that arrangement is perfect. Your father should not be prescribing you hormones. Like, I'm sure there is a situation where somebody who does this gender affirming care has children, and so on and so on. But that's weird. That's at least worth questioning. At least. Hey, shout out to Alex Pickus. What is good, brother? What is good? Welcome to the party. Shout out to Alex and his friend. The thumbnail for today was done with some AI over here, as you can see, and trying to step that game up. So thank you for all of the donations. That is what we are putting it towards, better content for you. So yeah, father's been prescribing hormones for years. Let's see, is there any questioning about that?
Do you want a hormone replacement therapy? And your dad is the one that's doing the hormone replacement therapy for you?
Yeah, so he's actually a doctor, and he knows a lot of doctors who do it, who prescribe it.
So he's just a doctor. What kind? We don't know. And he said he knows a lot of other doctors, so he's just been getting the medication for him. I didn't know that could work like that. All right.
Perfect. And
perfect. We just read that she said perfect. I didn't realize she was just going to say direct response. I mean, come on.
drive it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And is your dad providing a letter for you as well?
No, that's part of why I'm
Conflict.
yeah, I think there's a conflict there, and that's also part of the reasons why he involves other doctors with me as well. Is he just thinks it's better to have an independent person do it. He could have done it. He told me he could have done it, but I said, yeah, it's better not to do that.
Yeah, it's better to go through an actual professional who's gonna, take the time and care to make sure that this is the right thing for you, right? 3 days later, this is Matt. Plume sent this letter to Chelsea, aka Gregory, who does not exist, saying he was experiencing significant ongoing gender dysphoria. The letter strongly recommended Chelsea for testicular removal. It says here, to whom it may concern, Chelsea Busey is a patient in my care at Plume Health. She's been a patient here since 5/15/23. She identifies as a trans woman and uses she, her pronouns. This gender identity is well established. Is it though? By my independent evaluation of Chelsea Busey, legal name Gregory Knoll, she meets the criteria for gender dysphoria. Excuse me. She's identified as her affirmed gender for 6 years and has been living as or expressing her affirmed gender for over 2 years. That's not what I got from those videos. Did you? Did I just miss something? Despite these interventions, she reports significant ongoing gender dysphoria. Wait.
Stop the cap.
I thought he specifically said on the form to the question, have you experienced them for 6 months or more at a time? He said no. But 2 years. Okay. All right. She is seeking I don't even know how to say that. Cutting off your balls to help alleviate gender dysphoria. And it's my professional opinion, the expert opinion, that she would benefit greatly, both medically and physiologically, from getting your balls chopped off. This procedure has been defined as a medically necessary by the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. That's what WPATH is, to treat gender dysphoria. Chelsea Busey, who again does not exist, has met the WPATH criteria for gender dysphoria and is an appropriate candidate for chopping off balls. And again, I say, is he though?
Shut up!
Of course not. What are you talking about? Let's keep going. The letter keeps capitalizing whatever the all right, erectomy. I don't know. It's something like that, but that's what it means. Without "and" before, as if it's just been copy and pasted into a template. So let's see. She is seeking not "and." So like if you were, in what's another otomy? I don't know. But if you're saying like a tonsillectomy, then you would a tonsillectomy or "and" because it starts with a vowel. But here they point out there's no "and." There's no "and." They're just, and here again, a candidate for, or I really need to, all right, let's do this. Where's the freaking word? I was going to look it up for the, there we go. Pronunciation. This is how you learn, guys.
Orchiectomy.
Orchiectomy. All right. The letter keeps capitalizing orchiectomy without "and" before it, as if it's just been copy-pasted into a template. Greg followed up to learn why he had been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Plume admitted they just use letter templates provided by the WPATH. Chelsea, being again Greg, just checking in on this to make sure will be okay in the letter. I'm not really considering myself dysphoric, so I want to check on that one thing. Otherwise, letter looks great. So our coordinator here says, "Hi, Chelsea. This is care coordinator. I will page your provider on this to see what she says. I know we write letters based on the WPATH templates, but I can ask your provider if it is necessary to have it, and if not, perhaps it can be removed. Okay, so a little bit of a stopgap. Again, somebody paying attention here. I want to post that this woman needs the ability to practice medicine revoked ASAP. Yeah, but this is a burgeoning industry. This is only growing. She's on the upswing, baby. She's on the upswing. This is hot stuff. But I'm telling you, that is quickly going to change. We are reaching the tipping point, if we have not already. So Matt says later, Plume's nurse practitioner confirmed that in order for the surgery to be paid for, the dysphoria diagnosis would need to remain. At the same time, the nurse appeared confused as to why Chelsea Busey had requested testicle removal in the first place. Oh, now you're curious. Now you want to know. That seems like something that should have been addressed at the very beginning. The very first thing. Why is it that you want your balls chopped off? But no, only later on. So Chelsea here says, hi, thanks for getting back to me. I was just saying I don't feel dysphoric right now, but it's okay to keep it in the letter, right? Oh, okay. Well, the surgery is related to the gender dysphoria, which you were diagnosed with. It's controlled with HRT, which is the hormone replacement therapy. But in order for the surgery to be paid for, I think that's insurance, it will need to be related to your gender dysphoria. Which you are diagnosed with. Does that make sense? Or is the orky not gender confirming? So I wonder what would happen. There is this question: is the I should have kept that open. Is the ball chopper not gender confirming? So I wonder if he had said no, it's not. It's just cosmetic for stuff that I like. I wonder if they would have been like, oh no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. Probably not. But it's there. So Matt says this scam is the cutting edge of, quote, trans healthcare. After launching just a couple of years ago, Plume operates now in 41 states. Folks is in 47 states. How is it possible they've expanded so quickly? Money. Of course, it's money. The answer is that there's big money behind this. Plume and Folks raised more than $45 million last year. Craft Ventures, which is a venture fund dedicated to the craft of building great companies. They just led Plume's $14 million fundraising round. Is David Sachs, the founder, aware this is going on? Our Transformation Capital, I think that's the insurance company. Healthcare. Oh, these are all investors. Are all these people who invest in healthcare, are they all aware of this is how it's going down? Probably. They probably know exactly that this is how it goes. And they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the transes. They don't care about anything but money. Why would we expect anything different? Insurance companies like Aetna, United Health Group, and Cigna work with Plume. Do they know they're paying for surgeries based on obviously false information? I'm going to say yes again. Some states have restricted this kind of, quote, medicine. Florida, for example, recently passed a law banning most trans telehealth services. Trans activists and the AP have complained that this law is onerous. Okay. Saying the new law that bans gender-affirming care for minors also mandates that adult patients seeking trans healthcare sign an informed consent form. It also requires a physician to oversee any healthcare related to transitioning and for people to see that doctor in person. You would think that would be the bare minimum. The bare minimum. I get that, COVID was around and telehealth, to get my weed card without that telehealth. Oh man, lots of driving. But this is so much bigger than getting a weed card. Come on. I was surprised. When they told me I could get a weed card. It's recreational in Jersey now. But before that, during Corona, it wasn't. And I was amazed that even for weed, that you could get that without having to go into a building anywhere. But apparently, you can get your dick chopped off too. Those rules have proven particularly onerous because many people receive care from nurse practitioners and use telehealth. That's not an argument. That's not an argument. Many people have used this thing, and so therefore we need to use this thing.
What?
That's not an argument. The law also made it a crime to violate the new requirements. Good. That's what laws are there for. Matt finishes up and say they're furious. They're furious because they know that, quote, gender transition industry is a corrupt and fraudulent from the ground up. Protecting kids is just one piece of the puzzle. The fight begins there, but it doesn't end there. The whole industry needs to be shut down. It needs to be shut down. I mean, does anybody disagree? It is so shocking that and I mean, I watched What Is a Woman very recently after it came out. And I remember Scott talking to us about how none of the, there's no stop gaps, there's no warnings, there's none of that stuff. But seeing it actually happen is a different thing. That is crazy. That is crazy. So, speaking of Twitter and libs of TikTok, shout out to the unwanted foe for sending me this one. So remember, the theme here is that things are going too far. So this says TikToker explains that kid-friendly Pride event does not mean that there shouldn't be kink. Let's hear the argument.
Not the same. I want to clarify this for a second here. I'm not saying that kink isn't kid-friendly.
Whoa.
I'm saying that kids and kink can coexist at Pride in a totally fine way.
They can, but they shouldn't. They definitely shouldn't.
There's a nuance here.
Oh, there's nuance.
Making an event kid-friendly doesn't mean sanitizing it, aka taking something like kink out of Pride.
That's exactly what it means. That is precisely what it means. Making it kid-friendly means making it friendly to kids. Kink is not friendly to kids. So to make it kid-friendly, you have to take out everything that is not kid-friendly. Exactly. It's going too far, and people are starting to notice. Normal people are starting to say enough.
Making Pride kid-friendly is not the same thing as sanitizing Pride. Making a Pride event kid-friendly, or I prefer kid-safe, is about making sure we're including and putting kid and youth voices and including them in Pride and particularly any justice spaces. Kids and youth voices are vital to justice movements because they are a vulnerable and marginalized group on their own, which includes their intersecting identities and oppressions. So I'm not saying that kink isn't appropriate for kids. I'm saying they can and should coexist with each other. I want to clarify this first.
Straight insanity. Insanity. And Zippy is spot on. There is no way that you can think that this is a normal thought process unless you are in a cult. And that cult has been taking a lot of control in throughout society in a lot of ways. And a lot of people just didn't know any better. They didn't know that it goes this far. So when they say, "Oh, are you for LGBT rights?" Like, yeah, of course. I don't, to each their own. They weren't saying, "Yes, put a dildo in front of my kid's face and show him how to shove it up his ass." To think that that is actually what people want for their children is insane. So he says, which makes kids easy for them to be used against reason and logic. Exactly. There was I want to play that part again, that she said they, what exactly did she say? Something along the lines of
justice spaces. Come on. Making sure we're including and putting kid and youth voices and including them in Pride and particularly any justice spaces.
We want to include them because we can use them. We can use them to further our agenda. That is what she wants. So I have the receipts. So I not a big fan of what TikTok is doing to our nation, but I would be lying to you. I would be lying to you if I told you that that algorithm is not on point. I started just using it just to put my own content out there to get it out there, but then I got banned a bunch of times, and I just didn't I didn't bother anymore. So I've actually just been using it to kind of gather up TikToks to be able to use for the points that I'm going after, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Youngins, cover you.
All right, so let me make sure this is. Hold on, real quick. Save. Boom. Now I don't have to do that. Hey, unwanted foe just became a member. Welcome to being a disciple. Thank you so much. And Morty appreciates it. Shout out to unwanted foe. So again, the idea here is that normal people are speaking up, but not just normal people. People within the LGBT community are getting tired of their community being taken over by groomers.
Ears, cause shit's about to get real. Any hootie? So I got a couple of comments on my last video. This is no hate towards y'all. I just want to answer your questions. The question was, what about non-binary people? Y'all asked for it. First off, fuck. Darling, you don't even know what you are. How in the fuck do you expect other people to know?
Great point.
Are you going to walk around with a t-shirt that says that? Are you going to pull out a special identification card every time you walk up to somebody? Are you going to wear a sign, like a cardboard sign? No, you're not. Then again, some of you probably would. Because y'all make it your entire personality.
Yep, your entire personality. When you make it your entire personality, then it's no wonder that you're so crazy about this stuff. Because if this is not true, if it's not true that your identity is your gender, then you have no identity. You have no personality. You have nothing. So you need to stick to this because you have nothing else.
I just call it looking for fucking attention. Because most of the time, that's why you do it.
Yup.
Second, even if you are non-binary, you're going to present yourself either masculine or feminine.
Bingo.
So people will say ma'am or sir based on the way you present yourself. It's not them trying to be a dick-dumping doohickey. It's them trying to be nice and respectful to you, which shows they were raised right. Unlike a lot of you dick cheese cum targets, nowadays people don't even know what the fuck that word respect means.
Nope.
Third, I am a straight female. I am straighter than the pole your mom dances on.
Oh,
but
that's
I
hilarious.
get called sir.
That's hilarious. I pulled her up because I have a bunch of gay people pushing back. I just assumed because she was, the haircut and the vocabulary. But all right, so we're starting off with a straight woman, but the point stays the same.
Called sir because my hair is short and the way that I dress sometimes. Y'all are literally fishing for shit to get mad about. We just want to live our lives. Then do that. Stop looking for reasons to make yourself fucking miserable. As long as you ain't harming anybody in doing so, you do you, boo-boo. Stop bitching at people for not knowing shit and throwing a fucking fit like a toddler because you don't get your way. I said what I said.
Okay, so we started off with somebody who wasn't actually gay, but I promise the rest of them will be. So the comment says, why you hate Pride and some of the views you have. Makes sense why you have such opposing views on your own community. Zippy says, straight and plain and unfiltered. I love it. Exactly. I'm telling you, these people are going to be the savior of, I don't even know what anymore. Just innocence. I mean, whoever thought that gay people would be our last ditch effort at keeping innocence in America? Who'd have thought it?
I woke up and y'all are back on your bullshit already this morning. This person thinks that I hate Pride and oppose the views of my community because of how I was raised. because y'all are so delusional.
I'm gonna assume that because she has a son. Oh yeah, okay. Conservative Christians. That's what you're talking about.
That you could.
Well, 2B, he says, when she says coexist, I absolutely can't believe she means same time, same space. I hope this is all just a big misunderstanding, and I will be waking up soon as my alarm figures out where reality is. That's right. This has all been a dream. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if none of this was real? Unfortunately, it's real. Yup.
Couldn't possibly believe that you're the problem, right? That I wouldn't have a problem with y'all for any reason other than how I was raised. Let's get into it.
Couldn't be.
First of all, I don't hate Pride. I just don't wish to partake because I don't feel welcome there. Why don't I feel welcome there? Because of comments like this. Also, I don't really feel comfy in an environment where we choose to involve children and even push to involve children in our schmexual choices.
I like that one.
It's not cool, right? Like my good buddy Ant says, like Lady Maga says.
Shout out to Lady Maga. Lady Maga is an actual drag queen who is for Trump and against all of this stuff. And, you know, just to point out that most people don't care about the adult side of things. Some people will, but who gives a fuck about them? Who cares? There's a lot of people who hate me because of the name of my channel, but who cares? Come on.
I say all the time, we were good. We were Gucci. We didn't have a problem. We had rights. We could get married until you tried to involve children. My problem with the views of the community as a whole currently, aside from a select few individuals, is that you want to involve children. And also, well, that's not what Pride's about. You're right. That's not what Pride's about. That's not what it should be about. But you've made it about that.
You've made it about that.
I oppose the community currently, the parts of the community who want to do things to children. I can't even say the word on TikTok, but it rhymes with mutilation of children before the age of 18.
So we're seeing, guys, it's like I'm telling you, it's not just us. It's not just us anymore. It's not just, you know, regular people who maybe lean right because they were brought up religious or they were brought up in the South. It's normal people. This look, you know, she looks like, you know, a normal chick who happens to be gay, who's just trying to go about her life. And because the trans activists have made it such a big deal that, oh, we have to be together and we have to fight all for the same things. And that includes having children being able to consent not only to surgeries, but now to sex with other people. And she's like, hell no. And the sad thing is that I've been seeing a lot of these, and we're going to view a couple more. I've been seeing a lot of these. And these gay people feel like they are so alone. But just in the last few weeks, I've seen a lot of them just on TikTok. So you're not alone. Play.
I oppose schmexual education in schools, no matter what gender or schmex ed they are teaching. I oppose lewd acts in front of children.
Please, thank you.
That's what I have a problem with. And overall, I oppose y'all thinking that yours and my schmexual choices and rights trump my religious rights. Yay, I'm a Christian. One right and belief doesn't outstand the other. That's what I oppose. Just be kind.
That's
be
it.
Respectful. Be inclusive like you claim to be, but make sure that inclusivity does include Christians.
Yeah, I don't care about that part. But, you know, again, we have a normal person who feels like they are so alone because they're part of this community, but they're putting stuff out there. And, you know, we can go through the comments. Let's go through the comments of that one. So we have your community. Do you have to apply for such a community, or is it assumed that you're a participating member just for who you lay with? I found this a very intelligent and respectful response. Wish more could be this way. Well spoken. I don't care what people do, how they live, etc. But I agree. Leave the kids alone. all this kind of stuff. Hey, we got the free ego in the building. Welcome to the party, brother. Good to see ya. How you been? I think wokeness is dying, and I'm coming with receipts. So all right, let's check out. Okay.
By the time I was 17 years old, testosterone was being injected.
So it's the comment says it is nearly impossible to get gender affirming care. Doctors don't just hand over hormones as some miracle solution. That's not happening. You sure about that? You're sure about that? Okay.
Into my anorexic body. This was after a single appointment with a WPATH certified therapist who asked me a few questions and told me that I was a boy. These vague questions included things like, do you dislike your period? Do you get along better with boys?
I went to a Planned Parenthood a few weeks after my 18th birthday. None of the clinicians were interested in what was behind my desperation to change my body. They told me that because I seemed so sure, they would prescribe the hormones that day.
I had seeked assistance. And again, remember, we started with Gregory, aka Chelsea, who got 22 minutes, telehealth, 22 minutes.
Through my local LGBT center, and on my first appointment, I was immediately affirmed as a transgender woman.
Again, first appointment.
When I asked her why was I affirmed so quickly.
Smart question. If they're not going to care about you, then maybe you should care about you. But the problem is that these people are already in a place where they don't care about themselves because they're ready to do that. So you're preying on people who are already sick and already sad. And that just makes it worse.
She said she did not want to gatekeep me.
Gatekeep. Where have we heard the word gatekeep in the last 1 hour and 12 minutes? Oh, that's right. Gregory's whatever didn't want to be a gatekeeper. The very first thing that we saw was that woman saying, I don't want to gatekeep gender affirming care. So you can see the semantic obfuscation. I talk about gatekeeping morality as religion does. That's an actual application of what that word means. Gatekeeping is not responsible healthcare.
And she had my letter to transition right away.
So when I was 19, I went to an informed consent clinic, which basically means you just walk in and you say you're trans and you want cross-sex hormones, testosterone. And they gave me a free prescription of testosterone that day, even though I told them all these lists of, being suicidal, all this. They just gave me a very high dose of testosterone. Pretty much had no checks and balances. They just gave me the prescription and that's it.
So you're seeing, again, people who are in a very fragile state being preyed upon. So we talk a lot about how the transgender movement can give cover for predators. But we don't often talk about how people in the industry themselves, not the patients, but the doctors, are themselves predators to the trans people. Free Ego says, sad and alone and don't like yourself? Cut off your testes and start taking some hormones. Ignore the potential cancer hormonal imbalance causes and be better today. Right? Oh, man. That's really what it is.
To Stanway House in Boston, was able to get on hormones rather quickly. I ended up getting facial feminization surgery. And shortly after that, I got approved for sex reassignment surgery. There was absolutely no pushback by therapists.
No pushback by therapists. This is what we're told. That it's very hard, that there's a rigorous process that you have to go through. But that's just not the case.
They completely ignored comorbidities I had.
Two in a row. Now we have two people in a row who's saying I had other stuff going on. And they didn't even address that. They didn't even ask about it. They just said, here's your pills. Here's your letter.
Internalized homophobia. They completely didn't even push back at all. They said, they affirmed me.
Wait, is this an iguana?
And gave me letters for the surgery.
Oh, it's like a stuffed animal. I mean, this is what I'm saying. These people are not healthy. And you're preying on them.
When I turned 18, I learned that I could obtain testosterone through informed consent. And in my experience talking to them, they kind of downplayed the risks. They really sort of focused more on the aesthetic changes that I will go through.
I went to Planned Parenthood.
Whoa, okay. Was not expecting that voice. Okay. So we should play a game. Biological man or biological woman? I'm going to say biological man.
Like a week later, I basically walked in. I said, "Hi, I think I'm trans." They said, "Great, we're going to diagnose you with gender dysphoria, and here's your prescription for testosterone. You can get it the very next day."
Oh, wow. Biological female. Okay.
And I said, "Great." I didn't actually...
Wait, is that what I said? I forget.
Really realize in my head what a huge fucking red flag this was.
I started off by getting a prescription for testosterone. And
oh, wait. I forgot. I have this. Hold on. I just want to use this. Come on. Oh, I'm ruining the joke. I'm ruining the joke. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
And I said, "Great." I didn't actually realize in my head what a huge fucking red flag this was.
I started off by getting a prescription for testosterone. And to do that, I called up Planned Parenthood because I heard they provided gender affirming services. I thought I would have to go through some kind of process to get the testosterone, but instead what happened is I talked on the phone for 30 minutes with a doctor I'd never met in person, and I got prescribed testosterone over the phone.
Over the phone. Over the phone. All right, a couple more here. Let's see. What is this one? This is someone talking about the thread that we just did.
So Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire sent one of his producers posing as a...
Oh, this is just going over it. This is how I found out about this. Okay. I think this is going to fit as well. So this is not really in the trans thing, but this goes to the point that normal people, that what is normal and the average non-political normie person, where do they fall on the political spectrum? I don't think this video would be made, and I don't think it would be this popular ever since Trump got out of office. But it's very popular, and it's because people are caring. Real quick, Free Ego says, oh, that's weak. Well, that's all right. I appreciate the attempt. You know, that Cash App's still working, but either way, much appreciated.
All right, so tell me what just happened.
The people in the back of the car right behind you said that you're a Trump supporter, and just to let us...
it does that sometimes. I don't know. I've tried to send it to people, and it just I don't know. It's weird. Don't worry about it.
No.
So they warned you
Yes.
that the car in front of them, which is me,
Yes.
is a Trump supporter.
Yes.
And what do they think you were supposed to do with that information?
I don't know, treat you differently,
Wow.
but that's crazy.
Wow,
Our
that is...
society is now.
Do you see how Democrats are and liberals?
Yeah. Democrats and liberals, that's how they are. And I mean, obviously, she's not going to be like, well, no, actually, I'm a Democrat. And no. But it's becoming different. You can say that kind of stuff in public to strangers now. Things are changing.
They're so mean. They're trying to get me bad service because of my political beliefs. Crazy. I know. That is truly shocking that the car behind me saw my Trump 2024 sticker on the window, alerted the Dunkin' Donuts team that I'm a Trump supporter, as if that would have some kind of impact. Democrats and liberals are the most hateful people. And what I've noticed is this person's not even pulling up behind me.
Loser.
Oh, there they are. There they are.
And so what do you think? What do you think? How do you think this would play out? Somebody said, oh, I want you to know that the person who just ordered is a Trump fan. Then they're waiting back. Now, this is a liberal person. This is somebody who's pro-LGBTQ. This is somebody who has all the tolerance in the world, right?
Hey, God bless Trump. Trump's inevitable, man. He's coming back. Trump's coming back. That's what you've been saying for 7 years, my guy.
He said once he's in prison.
For 7 years. 7 years, my guy, you've been saying the same shit. Oh, I'm a xenophobe. I'm a Mexican immigrant. White liberal savior.
Got him. All right.
So as I left, I didn't get this on camera because I had to use my app to pay for my coffee. But as I left, the guy was screaming, "Wait until your family gets deported."
Wait until your family gets deported. Liberal America. This is what they stand for. They are a mob. This one's done, right? Yeah. All right. Let's do two more. Because there's a couple that really, the first couple that really, like, this is a good one.
Couple things here. Needed to make a video.
So, I don't know what she's doing here. This is just a way to get a bunch of clicks. You take somebody else's video and you just do it. I mean, hey, it's definitely worked for me on Instagram. But anyway, the comment, I can't even see it. The rest of the LGBTQIA plus community and its allies do not have a problem. Do not have a problem with cis. If you keep siding with the TERFs, you won't have a community left. That's the comment that was left for our homie here. Come on.
Video about this instead of typing.
Well, let me get this real quick. Unwanted Foe said, quote, thank you for alerting us to the Trump supporter. However, unfortunately, we can't serve you due to your political beliefs for being a snitch, bitch. That would be epic. If she did that, that would be the most epic response. Like, what? That's it. All right, let's back it up. Where
Couple things here. Needed to make a video about this instead of typing. And this is with all due respect, I promise.
If he's not gay, then, I mean, come on.
Please don't speak for the LGBTQI community because, one, you're not. Your son is trans, or your daughter, I'm sorry, is trans. You're not.
Based.
I'm living this life for nearly 60 years. I have a large group of friends. We don't like the term cis. And enough of my female friends, sisters, friends, mothers, grandmothers have said that they don't like the term cis, and that's it. And if we need to respect your child's pronouns, you need to respect theirs. It's only fair.
Mm-hmm.
1. 2, I don't really care if I have a community. I'm not in the community. I'm married to my husband happily for 27 years. He's a doctor. I'm a nurse. We want to be good neighbors and good people. We're not marching in the streets every day with rainbow flags and doing all that. We did that. We did that back in the 70s and the 80s. We fought for AIDS treatment and we fought for marriage equality. And we
you got it.
And we slid quietly into the background, right? Then all the trans stuff and the binary and the non-binary and people want to be a unicorn, want to be a cat. For some reason, they throw that on us, right? Nobody asked us. There wasn't a meeting.
Nope.
They're just there. And now they're so disrespectful to women, not all, some. So disrespectful with all this crap that guess what? People are now hating the LGBT. They're calling us the alphabet mafia and all these other things. I'm just reading all of these disparaging things about myself. And now I'm afraid someone's going to jump me because they think I'm trying to molest kids or that I'm doing drag shows or that I'm trying to sneak into the back. Like, come on. We need to be respectful to each other. So I don't care about that.
This, and again, the point of me showing these is that one, normal people who are not politically affiliated, and 2, people who are in the LGBT community are pushing back against this. That is what we have needed this whole time. This whole time, the normal gay people, the normal even trans people, separated from the activists who have to be out there and shoving it in everybody's faces. That has just been kind of part of it. But the tides are shifting. Frigo says, I feel like everyone who says cis treats it like a slur. Exactly. You have such privilege as a cis straight white male. Exactly. Yep. Spot on. Yeah. Oh, he's waiting for the treats. So, do what you got to do, people. You know what I mean?
That community anyways, by the way, I do not give a damn. You could take me off that shit list right now because it's not what it used to be. It has been hijacked and it's being molested. And I suggest to all these young people, if you want respect, you need to give it. That's how we got it. You don't kick the door in and start screaming, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to happen. It's just common sense. You come in the back door, you ask. You get people to feel for you and side for you, and they'll have compassion and they'll support you. But you can't kick the door in and start screaming in everybody's faces and trying to change science. You said your child was observed. Come on, that's trickery. Your child was born female.
And again, this is nothing new. The point of me showing this isn't that like, oh, did you know that this is how we think about this stuff? Of course, we've been talking about this for years. The point is whether it is people in the community or people who are not on in the conservative alternative media, Tim Pool, Stephen Crowder, Daily Wire, that That's a very small group of people. We are a very small group of people. Normal people are starting to pick up on this. All right, let's finish this one and do one more, and then we got something else. And if we finish up, we can come back to it. If you guys care.
Sorry, they could be trans later, but you're not going to set them up that way. It's not how it works. It's not open. That's ridiculous. And that's where people have a problem. Anyways, I wish you well. I wish your child well, but please don't speak for all of us. If women say they don't like it, don't do it. You can't demand respect for your pronouns, but not give a shit for other people's.
Beautiful. All right. And let's do one more here. We got to go based on looks. So, I think this was... Oh, my boy. This is definitely... All right.
Why didn't you do the same to Donald Trump when he sold... Why didn't you do the same to Donald Trump when he sold Pride merch? Yeah, that's right. Trump sold Pride.
Ooh, little coffee talk with the community.
So if you didn't notice, that was, I forget their names. The two TikTok dudes who are directly plants from the DNC. It's like, whoa, Biden does this, but Trump did it first. And so that's a little context there. Let's go back. It's, this guy. He is the one that he was on Tim Dillon's podcast, the two of them, and they were saying like, oh yeah, we got to do this and that for the party and whatever. And Tim Dillon was like, clip that, put it everywhere. And they're like, no, please. If people find out, then no. That's who this kid is.
Why didn't you do the same to Donald Trump when he sold Pride merch? Yeah, that's right. Trump sold Pride.
Ooh, little coffee talk with the community. Hi, honeys and bunnies. How are you? Aunt, nice to meet. No, okay. So, anyways, real quick, I thought you guys said he didn't support the community. That's funny because you found the merch now, didn't ya? Yeah. You sure did. 2, none of it was for children. You see how that goes? It's not for children. That's the issue. See, that's why parents are mad. Because it's geared towards children. That merch wasn't.
Exactly.
So
pretty simple.
Just thought I'd tell you. Also, those hats are great. I had one of those and it got ruined when I went to a rally. Oh, that was a good time. I got hugs and kisses from people. You should try one. They're way better than your the parades. Okay.
Why didn't you do the same to Donald Trump when he sold Pride merch? Yeah, that's right.
All right, hit me. I just put up a poll. We want to hear one more from that guy. Or do we want to move on? I'll let you guys pick. And you know what? Whoever gets it first, whoever clicks first wins. One more. All right.
Why didn't you do the same to Donald Trump?
All right, let's see. We got to pick a good one. They don't have. Okay, AmericanHealthcare.com. All right.
Hi guys, it's Ant. So I wanted to come on here and tell you about America First Healthcare.
Oh no, never mind. I thought that was going to be something. Hold on.
Why didn't you do the same to Donald Trump when he sold Pride merch? Yeah, that's right. Trump sold Pride.
Ooh, little coffee talk.
There we go.
Just be you and feel the love. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Let me make this video for the allies. The ones that, because I've noticed that the allies are the ones who have a lot to say. And again, it's always,
Hey, shout out to the free ego for the $5 Cash App. And of course, that gets Morty a treat, and he is loving it. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated.
it's like the white people who have more to say about the black community and they don't know shit about the black community. Same thing here. They're inserting themselves into how the community feels. And I think that the allies are the ones who hijacked the community, actually. Bingo. Okay? You cannot discredit what parents do not feel comfortable with their children buying or seeing or shop. This goes deeper, okay? This started off with when y'all wanted to do the books. Remember the books?
genderqueer, just the tip, the bluest eye, the gay BCs. What am I missing? These big nuts.
Yeah, that were very, very adult influenced, if you will. I can't really say it because I can't even say it out loud because it's that disgusting for little children. It started there. It's not just about this little clothing that you're talking about. This.
Oh, yes. Did we forget about the gay BCs? Oh, man. I will have to drop you the link for when I covered the gay BCs. Just another book to add to the list, but I always like to keep a list of at least 5 books that I know for sure. The Nick and Andrew one, it's not Nick and Andrew. It's 2 other names. But these are all books that have either simply been found in school libraries or were in the actual curriculum of elementary schools. And I think, well, technically, I think genderqueer was middle school, but genderqueer is the worst offender. But yes, genderqueer, the gay BCs, D's Big Nuts, which is a children's book, the bluest eye, and what am I missing? I don't know, but there's a bunch of them. Look it up. It is not fun. Just go incognito because you don't want that in your search history.
This is just the tip of the iceberg for parents that don't feel comfortable. See, I am gay, so please.
Really?
If I can see where parents are coming from, then you, because I saw your profile, you're a mom, right? Gary, I really think that you should stay out of this one. Yes, because the allies, okay, are really shit up for people.
Yep.
They're really making it, and it's the same, you know, the little white girls on the corner holding the BLM sign but never went to a bad part of the city. They don't know what the community is going through. Same situation here. You have no idea how hard the LGBT community fought for how many years to just fly under the radar and be normal, just for people like you to say, oh, pat on the back, I'm an ally. Congratulations. All right? Just sit down. Just take care of your kids. And they're going to take care of their kids. They don't want to shop there. They've made their voices heard. They're not going to shop there.
So he said something important about
right? Just sit down. Just take care of your kids and under the radar and be normal.
Oh yeah, that the fight for so long for the LGBT community was to be under the radar, to be left alone, to be treated like normal people. That was the fight, because they weren't. They were shamed. Pride, a pride celebration does make sense. It's just gone way too far. It's gone too far for the religious right. It's gone too far for the non-religious right. It's gone too far for the gays. The gay pride parade has gone too far for the gays. All right, so there's one more, if I can find it, before the last piece here. The guy from Gays Against Groomers. I'm not going to look too long. If I can't find it right away, we'll just move on. But he gave a speech, and very eloquent. Very eloquent. Not finding it. Yeah. All right. Well, 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. All right. We can't find that one. So then we'll go with this one.
This is a message for everyone who identifies as trans or non-binary out there. I'm a detransitioner, and I'm frequently called transphobic or hateful towards your community. What you think of me and your perception of me isn't any of my business, so you can think what you want. But I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I am sincerely sorry that society told you that who you were was not okay because of how you were born. Before I transitioned, I didn't feel safe in my own body. I didn't feel comfortable. I felt limited in my role as a female. And when I started identifying as trans, I felt that I could finally be my authentic self.
Oh, great. That's all we need. Your authentic self. Yay. Oh, wait. Detransitioner? Wait. There's consequences to this?
and I had the freedom to express parts of myself that had been hidden. I thought that transitioning was the only way to treat my gender dysphoria.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why you thought the only way you could treat your gender dysphoria was taking these hormones. Couldn't be the doctors, right? Because we've seen the extensive process that you have to go through.
And the only way to keep myself alive. For that reason, it felt worth it to me to risk my singing voice, which was one of the only parts of me that I liked. A few months after starting to take testosterone, my health began to deteriorate, and I began to lose my singing voice. One day I opened my mouth to sing, and no notes would come out. I was still no closer to being my authentic self.
Nope.
I actually do care about you.
And so do I. So do I. I don't know about you guys, but I care about people. In general. As much as I care about the innocence of children, adults as well. I don't want you to be in this position. I don't want that for you. Now, if that's like, if you know all of this and you want to go and do whatever with your life, great. Be happy. But I don't want you to fall down this rabbit hole. Shout out to Zippy. I don't want you to fall down this rabbit hole without understanding what it is. And she is here trying to warn people, and yet she's getting hate. She's in tears.
I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. And it's because I feel empathy that I want to protect you. Because these pharmaceutical companies and plastic surgeons
don't care.
They don't care about you.
Yep.
They only care about your money.
Bing.
Having a healthy body that doesn't need drugs or surgery to function is a beautiful gift. You don't need a needle or a scalpel to be your authentic self. And I want you to know that regardless of the messages you receive from society about who you were, you are okay and you are loved. This is
and I mean, isn't that the message that we always had? That you should love yourself? We're still amidst the body positivity movement. Where you're healthy at any size. You can be 700 pounds and you're still beautiful and healthy. Reality does not exist to these people. And normal people are starting to wake up. Frigo says, I genuinely never understood these types of people. Like, how the hell do you get suckered into something like this? Much less something as abstract and nonsensical as being born in the wrong body. Dogmatic thinking and semantic obfuscation. Dogmatic thinking and semantic obfuscation. That is the only way that you get this. There is no other path to believing you can be born in the wrong body than dogmatic thinking and semantic obfuscation. You switch words around. You're looking for something to be to victimize yourself, even though, you know, it's just puberty, which we all went through and was weird for all of us. But for you, you got to be different. You got to be special. All this. And because of the dogma that reinforces that, people literally go and mutilate themselves. And like I said last year when we covered What is a Woman, Scott, the same one who was warning us about all of this stuff, was saying that typical 7 to 10 years is the typical time when people will start to detransition. Just like a marriage, right? And we're right in that time right now. Just as I predicted. Go back and watch that video. I predicted that we would be doing essentially this exact stream. That people are starting to wake up. People are starting to detransition. People are starting to realize that it's not as simple and easy as they make it seem. Facts. Yep, it's a religion. It's a religion. So, keeping all of that in mind, this a couple of days ago, there was a protest in Glendale, California, at a school where a bunch of parents didn't. This is California. A bunch of parents didn't like the trans stuff in their curriculum. These are normal people. These are liberal California people. And this is what happened.
This news with live breaking news. Breaking news, fights break out outside the Glendale School Board meeting as board members prepare to recognize June as Pride Month. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us as we stream live. I'm Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News at 6:30. Chris Christie is live overhead in Air 7 HD with the very latest right now. Chris.
That's right, Colleen. A confrontational protest with protesters and counter protesters in front of the Glendale Unified School District, where that meeting was taking place.
So notice how they framed that: protesters and counter protesters.
To declare.
So let's get Opus said European countries did this trans stuff a decade ago and stopped. I don't understand why we wouldn't just follow their example instead of doing the experiments ourselves. Money, 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 money. And also the fact that China is trying to do a giant psyop on us through TikTok. That's what I would say. Frigo said I must be like predisposed to not trusting authority. Yeah, that is spot on, I would say. There's people who are just wired to go along to get along. Just keep their head down and just do whatever. You know, we talk all the time about these like social experiments where, you know, there's one where they set this up like you're going to do a social experiment, but, you know, you have to do some paperwork or something. So you go into a waiting room and the waiting room's full. And so everybody's filling out their papers and whatever. And then you hear a bell ring. And then everybody, there's only one person they're actually doing the experiment on. Everybody else who's filling out the papers is actors. Everybody is actors except the one person. So they're in there. The actors and the actual person who's doing taking the experiment is in the waiting room. They're all filling out the papers. Bell rings and everybody stands up and it sits right back down. And the actor's like, nobody says anything, so they just go back, start, you know, writing again. 90 seconds later. Okay. Now the person's getting up, looking around, seeing if somebody's going to be like, oh, yeah, we do this because blah, blah, blah. Nothing. So they keep going. Another bell, and now the person's not even stopped writing. They just stand up, sit back down. Then, as if that's not weird enough, I don't understand how you could be the kind of person who would just do that and be like, yo, why you guys standing up? Just ask. But it goes further than that. Because then you swap out the actors for new people who don't know what the experiment is. So at first, it's a room full of actors. Let's say it's 6 people. A room full of actors, and there's only one person who doesn't know what's going on. But then you switch out. And then this person is already conditioned to just, you know, stand up and sit back down. But where was I? So, well, 6. I was here. Okay. Yeah. So that person already knows. But then this person goes in, and now we have these 6 people. Now this person doesn't know what's going on. Same thing. The bell, and everybody gets up. Everybody sits back down. Soon enough, they've completely switched everything out, and there are 6 people who are not actors. Bell rings. They all stand up. They all sit back down, and nobody says a thing. People are wired to just go along to get along. So you say this, Frigo, and I think you're right, and it is a good thing. It is people like you who are predisposed to not trusting authority, to being skeptical, to thinking critically. Because without it, we get this. Zippy says, Frigo, you start out a free thinker and see underneath the underneath. I tend to chew on what's underneath the underneath. That sounds scary. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me at all. Me either.
Declared June Pride Month. However, the Glendale Police Department has asked them to go into recess as they are not allowing anybody else inside the building following a brawl out here in the parking lot. They were keeping the defenders of the LGBT community away from the conservative group who was protesting Pride Month, but those
Okay, let's make sure we got that, how they described that last thing, how they described the incident.
Following a brawl out here in the parking lot, they were keeping the defenders of the LGBT community.
The defenders of the LGBT community. Are they good people or bad people? Are they supposed to be there or are they not supposed to be there? Are they part of the school or are they not part of the school? They're defenders of the LGBT community.
away from the conservative group who was protesting Pride Month.
From the conservative group that was protesting Pride Month. Again, just keep that in mind.
But those groups came together in the parking lot. Punches were thrown several minutes ago. Several agitators really starting to cause trouble in there. And then Glendale police forced to pull out their riot gear and their batons. And they have now formed several skirmish lines here in the parking lot to keep everybody at bay. They have tried to implement a dispersal order, but for right now, they are just trying to keep the peace here as tempers continue to flare here in Glendale. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Wow, a very, very active scene.
So notice clothing. No, let's take a look at clothing.
Right below.
So we have different sides. I see a lot of black. I see hoods and hats, and then I see a lot of normal clothing. That's what I see.
Again, we are going to continue to stay monitoring the situation from above.
I'm saying all this for a reason, so just stick with me.
We will continue to check back in with you as we get new information. Also, we go back out to Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter. She is on the ground and she has the latest.
Again, look at the clothing.
Anger and frustration as two sides face off outside Glendale Unified Board of Education meeting. The board is set to adopt a resolution designating June as LGBTQ plus Pride Month, something they've done for the last 4 years.
So last 4 years, this went down without a hitch. Went down without a hitch. Nobody cared. Wonder what's different.
The superintendent says it's part of the California framework. Protesters who have been gathering at the last couple of meetings say the state's curriculum and thus...
Okay, so now let's look at the clothing over here. Okay, we've got a rainbow here. Normal clothes. I mean, it's dark. I wouldn't call it black. A red hoodie, normal shirt. Okay. Frigo says there's a reason bright colors signify danger. I mean, when you're right, you're right.
The Glendale Unified School District's policy in dealing with LGBTQ plus issues violates their rights as parents.
There is no way it will ever be inappropriate for a minor to start using a different name, different pronouns, changing in front of other minors in locker rooms or in front of other adult coaches, for instance, without parental consent. That violates the parents' right to privacy. That violates their First Amendment rights.
Gay rights supporters say it's just a push to instill more hate and say the angry...
Again, let's look at the clothing. Normal clothes. All right, this one looks like she is in black block. But what I'm trying to point out is that obviously the people who are protesting are not parents. They're not parents at this school. They are people who've driven in from wherever to be the allies that the guy was talking about in the last video. They're the allies. These are these people's children. Let's finish this up, and then I got one last thing to pull it all together.
Rhetoric only hurts the kids.
I think when the conversation turns violent, school board members resign, teachers quit, schools fail.
The superintendent says the district is simply following the state's curriculum and says a lot of erroneous misinformation is being spread on social media. We have absolutely...
So let's see. We support age-appropriate curriculum for children. You know, he's in a hoodie, but again, normal.
No agenda. We are not in the business of converting
Old
anyone's
woman?
child. We would like to continue the communication so that we can clarify and also take certain topics that are just not happening off the table.
Several hundred people gathering here outside of the board meeting. The Glendale Police Department doing their best at this point to keep the two sides separated. So far, everything remaining peaceful.
All right. So, what does this all mean? What does it all mean?
A major shift is upon us. From the Bud Light effect, Target stock, Kohl's, North Face, regular people are starting to say no to the indoctrination and grooming of their children. And it's culminating in dangerous circumstances. The Post-Millennial reports, violence between Antifa and parents erupts in Glendale, California, outside school board meeting over LGBT pride agenda. That's right.
And it is, in fact, an agenda.
A group of fathers were upset that their kids are being groomed in these schools with sexualized courses that are beyond these children's understanding, and the kids should not be taught this. Parents inside were protesting, and outside, far-left extremists physically attacked the parents. Now, it's funny. If you look at the videos, you'll see something fairly obvious. It is masked, black-clad, far-left extremists, as we've seen.
AKA Antifa. AKA not parents at this school.
We don't know who these people are other than they are your typical far-left extremist. Additionally, leftists are much less likely to actually have children. So, if we were to make an inference on what was happening, you have just some local men of varying background, not wearing political clothing. Some, I believe, maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I Wanted Foe said they should have never touched kids in this matter, figuratively and literally. That's a good one. That's a good one. You are absolutely correct.
But just guys, hoodies, jeans. Far left extremists wearing political symbols.
So he says Target more so than Bud Light, but it feels like the market cannot support bland superlative brands and big box stores. They're overpriced and generic. Market oversaturation is in some effect. Yep. It's going too far.
Engaging in a political act of violence, as they typically do. And so that's the story that you get from the Post-Millennial. The Daily Mail says, mass brawl erupts during protest outside LA school board vote on recognizing June as Pride Month. 3 arrested as demonstrators in Leave Our Kids Alone shirts brutally clash with LGBTQ activists.
Now remember, I've been pointing you to the framing. The defenders of the LGBT community and the conservative whatever.
And then, of course, you get Pink News, which frames it like this. Violence breaks out at school board meeting over Pride Month. Extremists attacked LGBTQ parents.
Did they, though? Did they, though? The positive side of this is that this is usually what you would see on CNN and whatever. You have to go all the way to Pink News now to find a framing like this. And that is victory. That is moving the goal line. We are winning. All we have to do is continue to do what we are doing, and this will be over. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, definitely not today or tomorrow. But maybe, as quickly as it came, easy come, easy go. In a year from now, 2 years from now, it could be the I was going to say the gayest thing. It could be the lamest thing to be part of the LGBTQ thing, and you're not, to be waving a rainbow flag. We don't know. But things are changing. Culture is shifting. Frigo says we need specialization again. Can you even imagine how much better the world would be if you were forced to have more normal human interaction while getting everything you need? Yeah, that would be good. You can go to Walmart and walk out with every food you can think of and not say a word to anyone, as opposed to, say, going to a farm for milk, then going to a butcher for meat, etc., etc. You are correct, but unfortunately, there's just too much money. There's too much money. There's too much money. Now, like Zippy was talking about, Target might be, they've been experiencing some heavy declines that are persisting. I think the Bud Light effect is now a thing. The Bud Light effect is not just a dip, but a measurable and long-lasting, how long is, whatever, but a long-lasting boycott of your services. And so boycott, think about, Bud Light is only down 30%, which is a lot, but that means 70% of the people who drink Bud Light still are drinking Bud Light. But that's still a lot of money. And Modelo just became the #1 beer. Modelo's an Anheuser-Busch beer. It doesn't matter. The message has been sent. And apparently not received, because they're still donating tens of thousands of dollars to pro-LGBT stuff. There's been talks about people having the justification to sue the people at Bud Light for fiduciary responsibility, like not acting in the way that's the fiduciary responsibility of the shareholders. But yeah, Frigo says not just Bud Light anymore; it's the parent company too. It is, yes, but the only reason I don't want to, you're correct, but I don't want to gloss over the reason that if everybody had tried to completely ban Anheuser-Busch altogether, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. They're just too far reaching. And this is why we didn't expect Target to have much of a wave, because number one, there's too many different stuff at Target that people need. And it wasn't necessarily as pointed as the Dylan Mulvaney thing. But the only reason the parent company now is like, is because we sent a strong message. So shout out to anybody who didn't buy Bud Light, whether you were going to or not.
Did they?
Did they
If you're the parent of a child at the school, would you show up black clad wearing a mask?
Nope.
Or would you show up in normal clothes
Yup.
to a meeting at your school board?
Yup.
I'll just put it this way. The assumption, the presumption, the people who are showing up with political iconography and starting fights probably don't have kids in this school. But of course, that's what the Pink News is saying.
Yeah, exactly, Frigo. Never going to buy Bud Light anyway. That's why it's the easiest political protest ever. Now, Target's a little bit different, but like I was saying in Discord, was it this morning? Damn, that was this morning. Holy crap. I'm never up that early, but this morning I had to go and, some of you guys know about my whole Factor Meals situation, but I needed to go shopping for some food and some other stuff. And Target is much closer. Target is much nicer, but I took the extra drive to go to Walmart because if we don't vote with our dollars, if we don't vote with our attention and our dollars, then nothing will happen. And, I bought some food. I bought a new planner for next year, and I spent $142. Not a huge amount, but if everybody who would have spent $142 at Target now spends that money at Walmart, again, the message is sent.
Alejandra Caraballo says violent far-right anti-LGBTQ extremists viciously attacked LGBTQ parents outside of a Glendale CA school board meeting about recognizing June as Pride Month.
Hey, we got St. Michael in the building. Welcome to the party. Said Walmart is no better than Target in terms of putting out merchandise, trans merchandise for children. They absolutely are. Am I saying go Walmart? It's the greatest company ever? Of course not. Of course not. That's not the point. The point is you did a thing that I cannot condone, and therefore I cannot shop at your store anymore. I still need shit. Like, we live in a society. I still need shit. But the point is, we are trying to send a message. And when Walmart starts, either advertising beer to children or putting out trans-friendly kid clothing, then we'll go there too. I mean, yeah, if you can, there's nothing really like that around here, and that's there's people who they don't have anything but a Target, and in that case, okay, you got to do what you got to do. But I mean, I don't know what you guys. I don't have the money to go from like a farmer's market to farmer's market to farmer's market in the gas or the prices of the stuff. I am broke. Every dollar I have goes into all of this for you guys. So I don't have the money to do that. I would love to, but I can't. Like I said, I still got to buy shit, but you got to be able to do what you can do. Zuby says, Target was going to be bought out by Walmart or Amazon. It was only a matter of time. The market is saturated for big box stores. Bud Light and parent company is a little bit more nebulous. Yeah, that's why it was a little bit more pointed and a little bit easier for that protest to go. Not just because it was one product, but it was one product that most people didn't want anyway. Frigo says, not going to lie, with all these price hikes, I can even see people starting to get clothes and non-food items off websites like AliExpress and Temu. I've never heard of them, but maybe I should check them out because I'm broke as hell. St. Michael says, I buy my vegetables from the Amish. Good for you. Eggs as well. I don't keep that stuff in my house because I live by myself, and even if like a dozen eggs, they're going bad before I can finish them. Well, maybe not a dozen eggs, but you know, they're expensive, so I'll buy the 18, and then, you know, I have eggs 3 days in a row, and maybe I want a bagel, and so I don't buy a lot of that stuff. That's a whole other conversation, but that's what I mean. And as long as you're not, that's fine. As long as you're not supporting the people who are spitting in your face and telling you they don't give a fuck what you think, they don't care about what you care about, and they're going to do whatever is going to get them money, despite it eroding the values of your country, of your life. They don't care. I'm not going to support that. If you want to, go for it, but I'm not. Zippy says to St. Michael, there's only Walmart, big pharma chains, and Dollar General out here. The farmers market is not very stable, and I'm in a rural area. It depends on where you live. It definitely depends on where you live. And like I said, some people don't literally have nothing in a reasonable drive except Target. So if that's the case, then nobody's saying, you know, you need to drive 70 miles to go to the next Walmart. I mean, we got to be reasonable. We got to be reasonable. But if you can do it, then do it. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Is that you? Thank you very much, guys. AliExpress and Temu are basically like buying Chinese goods directly. Chinese goods like what? Just like any kind of trinket, or like egg noodles or something? What are we talking about?
As usual, the police are helping the extremists. Yeah, no. That's not what happened. It's not what happened, because we actually know that these people, these men who are showing up, are parents who are upset about what's being taught to their children. And they're saying no. But of course, the media is going to try to lie, because there is a psychotic cult which has many pedophiles and groomers trying to get to your kids.
Yup.
Oh, and they get so mad. They say, you really got to watch what you say, Tim, because, you know, some people, look, I'm not a parent at these schools. I'm not showing up. I did not attend any of these fights. I did not even know this meeting was happening. These parents knew more than I did. I'm only telling you after the fact.
This is Tim Pool, who in some circles is the biggest commentary pundit, whatever you want to call him, that people know. And he didn't even know about this. Normal people are starting to stand up. As bad as it may look, as long as you continue standing strong, you will win. This ideology cannot stand on its own. This ideology will collapse once everybody starts actually treating it with the same logic we treat everything else. Zippy said, indifference is less of an issue than being spat on. Watching 70s and 80s cop lawyer dramas, indifference was almost the norm back in the day. Fair enough. Frigo says, yeah, it's just a lot of random miscellaneous-ish for the most part. Yeah, we'll check it out. St. Michael says, I watched Nina Turner say this Glendale incident was Proud Boys versus parents. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. That Proud Boys, it's literally the parents of the kids who go to that school. Oh, versus the parents. So it's the opposite. Wait, what? The Proud Boys would be on the side of the parents. Their fake news is so bad that they don't even know. Like, that doesn't even make sense. The Proud Boys and parents of children who don't want. So unless they're saying the parents who were the actual parents were the Proud Boys, and the non-parent Antifa people were the parents. That sounds like what if she said that, that's what it sounds like how she's framing the incident. Exactly the way Pink News did. Frigo says, I got a pretty sturdy leather wallet and bright ass flashlight off Timo for $2 each. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Good looks. It was Antifa. Are you making a backstroke? Anti-vax parents? I don't get it. Hey, we got BD up in the building. Welcome to the party. You are exactly right. The gaslighting. If you're new here, I call it semantic obfuscation, where they will change the meaning of words or use words that are not really appropriate to send a message and twist the narrative, or particularly in an argument, take a position where you can't win. No matter what you say, you're wrong. Well, if you're not racist, it's not enough to be racist. You have to be anti-racist. You're a Nazi. Well, are you talking about somebody who followed Hitler, or are you talking about somebody who just didn't? Speaking of Nazis, are you talking about somebody who just has a different opinion than you? What does that mean? Oh, it means whatever I want it to mean because I win. It's like Big Daddy. You remember the Adam Sandler movie, Big Daddy? They were playing cards, and the guy got mad. They're all playing. It's like, I win. It's like, why do you win? Because I win. That's literally what this is.
That parents are getting fed up with the pedophiles coming for their kids.
Bingo!
Here's the story from the Post-Millennial. An all-out brawl between Antifa and parents erupted outside a Glendale, California school board meeting on Tuesday. Parents had attended the meeting to demand transparency of curriculum, which the Glendale school board has refused to provide. A Glendale mom who was inside the meeting told the Post-Millennial that the school board refused to engage with parents, and instead of dealing with parents and giving the information parents have rightly demanded, they paraded a selection of uninformed local elected officials who had no idea what was going on or what the issues were. We have this tweet from Andy No. He says, breaking, Armenian American men fight against Antifa and far-left protesters outside the Glendale CA school board meeting.
And again, remember that this is in California. This isn't some red state. This is in California. BB Up says, forgot about Big Daddy. Yeah, I had that on, I think I might have had it on VHS. I either had it on VHS or DVD. I would run that back over and over and over and over and over and over again. I used to love that. I mean, I still love that movie. I just haven't seen it in a while, but good one. Good flick.
Immigrant families have been furious that elementary schools are doing pride events. Antifa have gathered to oppose the events. Oppose the parents, sorry. I'm going to break it down like this. Here's reality. The majority of people don't agree with this stuff. That's why we're seeing the Bud Light effect in Target. That is proof. Proof
Bingo.
positive. If Bud Light sales drop by 30% despite Memorial Day weekend, yeah, people.
Real quick, have you guys seen the murder mystery movies that he's done with Jennifer Aniston? It's no Glass Onion, but if you liked Glass Onion, then those movies are, they're cheesy. They're Adam Sandler movies. They're cheesy, but they're fun.
Are not okay with what these companies are doing, and they're fed up, and they're starting to push back. That's regular people. 30% of Anheuser-Busch sales, that's not like some fringe right-wing extremist group. It's regular people saying, enough! The far left.
So let's get some of these. He also, Uncut Gems was so good. It was so good. He just, there was something else that he did recently on Netflix. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I don't want to derail, but he's been, he's always been hit or miss. But after this era, after the Happy Madison era, Click was good, but it was a little weird. 50 First Dates was a little bit kind of superficial. I enjoyed it. That they played that on like TBS all the time, so I watched that all the time when I still had cable. Didn't even remember what it was called. But and then some bad movies. Like I know people like Punch Drunk Love. I started watching that movie. It's either that one or Spanglish. I started watching it and I was like, what is this? This sucks. Should I revisit those? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Good one. What else we got here? St. Michael says, what I find interesting is that none of these talking heads are talking about the Muslim parents versus freak brawl that went down at a school. You mean the video that we're watching right now? He's literally talking about it right now.
It's regular people saying, enough! The far left, a small fringe faction of psychopaths, groomers, pedophiles, and far left extremists, cult members, want to put you in their box. They want to frame it as though they all
We could do that, guys. I'm down. I'm down. We could have that conversation. I am down.
are the majority. They're not. And the Bud Light effect proves it. Target stock dropping by $13 billion. Yeah, that's not because of Antifa. That's because of regular people. Antifa doesn't go and shop at Target. They loot, ransack, and destroy Target. So, when regular people say no, you get to choose which side you want to be on.
Wait, real quick. Are you talking about The Wedding Singer, which absolutely is an Adam Sandler film, which is hilarious? I'm not familiar. Oh, Wedding Ringer. No. I'm now that who was in that? Who was in that? Because that was definitely now that you're saying it. Oh, remind me who was in that. BV Up says you don't want to fuck with Armenians. They're still a country for a reason. All right, where are we on this?
When regular people say no, you get to choose which side you want to be on.
Yep.
Do you want to be part of the fringe faction that will likely end up getting arrested?
Nope.
Trump's going to get elected, and then you're going to actually see DOJ action against these terrorist groups. That's what they are. Extremist terrorist groups. You're going to see action taken at the federal level to get the grooming pedophile stuff out of these schools.
Yep. And Oprah says immigrants think this stuff is aliens. Dems are not going to get what they think they are paying for with the open borders. That's a whole other conversation, but facts. Big, fat facts. Yeah, Wedding Singer was an Adam Sandler movie, but I'm remembering. Okay, we gotta do this. Wedding Ringer. Oh yeah. The Kevin Hart movie where he's he's getting married and then he needs to hire the whole crew of people. That was a good movie. Yeah, that was a good movie. I don't know if I would put that necessarily in the realm of some of the top tier Sandler movies, but definitely yeah. Josh Gad was his name. What was it? Josh Gad. Yeah. Good movie. Where were we? Frigo says Muslim parents are ready to bring out their machetes on some fools. I'm telling you guys, we are seeing the turning. It is happening now, today. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You are living through history. Pay attention because you can affect how that history plays out. You can affect how the history books are written. All you got to do is stand by your beliefs. That's it. Sometimes easier than other times, but that's it. If you believe in something, stand up for it. The man who stands for nothing will fall for anything.
It is kind of crazy that it's come this far. Really. That you have books like Genderqueer in schools. How did it get that far? It's because your average person is passive and lets this stuff happen. And then one day they hear about it and they're like, whoa, what? And of course, here's what I find interesting. When parents started to find out that these schools were being infiltrated by pedophiles,
which ironically happened during lockdowns, which were, what's the word for how strong the Democrats were behind the lockdowns? The only reason parents are now up in arms about this stuff is because we locked everything down and school went home, and then parents were like, "Wait, this is what they're teaching you? What?" That's why. I mean, I don't know if I want to go that far, but it definitely was nice to be off work for a while. But there's always a silver lining. That's for sure. There's always a silver lining. And if it's this BS getting some sunshine, then I'm here for it.
And groomers who are introducing their children to sexually perverted ideas. Notably in Genderqueer, for instance, they're trying to give middle schoolers access to
so Genderqueer was middle school.
Overt adult imagery, adult acts, sex acts. You have the Pride event in West Hollywood that just is going viral now where two men perform a sex act on each other. I should say one man performs a sex act on another man in public with children in view. They get away with this because the average person doesn't know. And then once they amass enough corporate and cultural power, when one parent steps up and says, hey, I don't know about this, they're overwhelmed. But those far left extremists, groomers, and pedos still are a small fringe group. And they can form their little gangs and they can go and smash windows. And in numbers, they have strength. But eventually, more and more parents start saying enough. Very much.
That's the only reason it's gotten this far, because the leftists are so much better at organizing. And I think it has to do with the mindset that would bring you to being a leftist. Think about the collective and all that stuff. Whereas people who are more libertarian minded, more conservative, tend to be individualistic. So it makes sense that that is the case. But they have thrust a battle upon us. And there's no staying out of it anymore. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny. So you either fight, win, or die on your knees. Or you just let them win. Up to you. You don't have to do anything. If you just want to play the Joker here, go for it. Just don't come crying to me when it's your kid who's arpade in the bathroom by a dude in a dress.
Much so, like that scene from V for Vendetta, you know, at the end, where the inspector says, at some point, someone will do something stupid. And then it shows the cop, he basically shoots a little girl, and everyone in the neighborhood just goes up and starts beating the crap out of him. When you have 10 cops, you know, authoritarian tyrants, you know, they can oppress one person at a time or two people. But once the whole neighborhood rises up, this is what we're seeing now. The far left extremists bank on the fact that although they're a small fringe group, they concentrate their force. So 30 or so people can go out and beat up 10 parents. But what happens when there's 50 parents? What happens when these ideas spread and the parents say, I will not accept this? Then the police, well, now you're in a rock and a hard place because these Antifa guys are going to get stomped. These pedophiles, parents aren't going to stand for this.
Nope.
Breaking. Armenian American men fight against Antifa and far-left protesters. Take a look at this. Glendale CA police beat back the Armenian American men who want to fight Antifa outside the school board meeting. The immigrant families oppose pride celebrations in schools. Antifa
poll, guys. I want to know what matters to you. I love you guys so much. I just want to do what I can do to please you.
Communists and far-left protesters gathered to support that. Look, I'm not gonna hold back, and I'm not trying to be cute. When I say groomer and pedophile, I'm not referring to a run-of-the-mill liberal. That's what they want to do. The left will be like
semantic obfuscation. So that's a perfect example that he just brought up. He's talking about pedos and groomers. And so what a leftist will do is then twist his words to make it seem like anybody who is even okay with trans people existing are pedophiles and groomers. That's not what he said. That's not what any of us think. But go on and lie.
Like he's calling you those names. They want to wrap you up.
Both is yes. Both is yes.
Up in their ideology. I'm not calling liberals pedos. I'm calling a very tiny faction of people who are trying to sneak these books into schools pedos and groomers. Why are these? There was that teacher. She was giving out a book called This Book is Gay. In it, it instructed children on how to download, upload photos to, and use adult sex apps.
What?
Why would a middle school teacher be teaching children how to secretly meet with adults for sex?
I did not hear about that. Did I hear that? I mean,
This Book is Gay. In it,
oh, there we go. Add another one to the list. This book is gay.
Instructed children on how to download, upload photos to, and use adult sex apps. Why would a middle school teacher be teaching children how to secretly meet with adults for sex?
Okay. I thought, you know, I wanted to give the world a little bit of credit and think maybe I misheard. But nope, that's what he said. A middle school teacher teaching children not how to do taxes, not about history, not about math, how to secretly meet with adults for sex. Why? Why? What can that possibly do for your life as the teacher? Focus here. Come on. Oh, Made it worse. Oh my God. There we go. Oh, that beautiful mug. Why? Frigo says a middle school teacher is teaching it because her higher up said, hey, we're going to add this. So time to teach it. Just following orders, right? Just like the Nazis. St. Michael says, for years, people used to tell me that I was conflating homosexuality with comophilia. Every day, that weak AF response keeps losing me. What is comophilia? Not familiar with that. Please let us know. Never heard that one before. Comophilia.
I will ask you that again.
Thank you, buddy.
Why would a middle school teacher provide instruction
No, we got
to
100%.
children ages 10 through 12 on how to use apps to anonymously and discreetly meet with adult men for sex? You know why. You know why. Come on.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I mean, oh, is that, wait. Gotcha. Okay.
Don't play any, there's no other explanation.
Thank you,
Well, the
Monty.
teacher just doesn't understand that what? You think the teacher doesn't know, like, here's the book that explains how to do it. You think, oh, come on. The teacher
Another
knows
one.
exactly what she's doing. Yes, teachers abuse kids. It happens a lot.
Remember how we started the stream? I don't know if anybody was even here, but the first thing that I said, we went back in time to when I was in 8th grade. And my AP psych teacher got fired for getting blown in the parking lot by a student. Happens all the time. Why would it not happen in this area where now we're making it easier for predators to be predators? Samuel says those anti-homosexuality PSAs from the 50s were spot on. I hate to just accept that because I don't know that I'm comfortable drawing that line between homosexuality and what we have today. That's specifically why we went through all those TikToks, because I don't see a direct line in terms of the behavior, but I absolutely see the direct straight line in the narrative. There's no question. There's no question that, gay marriage and the power that was given to the LGBT community by that led to all of this. I'm not saying at all that two people who love each other, two adults who love each other shouldn't be able to get married. But a lot of people were saying this, and then this is the response that we got. I got mad at my dad for talking about how gay marriage could lead to bestiality. And I was like, Dad, you can't talk about people like that. And here we are. Unwanted Foe says toss up between predatory teachers and the teachers who don't do proper research ahead of time and depend on keyword searches for materials. Which is worse? No, definitely the predatory teachers, but I where are you coming from? If only. Good one. Hey, it was there, and he took it. Melton My Media said I had a history teacher who had the whole cheer team in his class after class every day. Dude was a creep.
Hurrah! Another one.
All right. Take the joke. Half of all the 50s PSAs are pure fear mongering, which is true. But again, I can see the direct straight line between the gay marriage and those people, that group. now being the LGBTQIA plus whatever, that it's the same group. It may not be the same people. It may not be the people who are fighting for marriage equality, who are fighting for this bullshit. I'm not saying that. But it's the group. That group has directly tied in to all of this. All of it. And I don't know. They weren't. That one may have been. I'm not ready to say, making homosexuality acceptable is why we have groomers and pedos in schools. I'm not ready to say that. And certainly the drug PSAs, certainly the race PSAs were not what they were. So no, they weren't right. This one happened to be, unfortunately, a little bit poignant. All right, let's dive back in. I forget where we were.
Yes, teachers abuse kids. It happens a lot. And now they're using the mask of pride to get away with it. But parents are saying enough. Armenian, Hispanic, and Christian families have been protesting the Glendale School Board's pride celebrations and the indoctrination of their children into radical gender ideology. Parents were there protesting, trying to work with Glendale Unified as to what will be taught during Pride Week. A mother, it's from month to week now, huh? A mother who was inside the
Pride Week.
meeting.
Oh, all right. See, I told you guys we're winning. We've won. We've gone from 4 weeks to 1. All right, Pride Week. I can deal with Pride Week. Let's get it down to Pride Day and then get rid of it.
A mother, it's from month to week now, huh? A mother who was inside the meeting filmed parents protesting. Basically, there's some so-called.
All right, let's see. So Zippy says, no doubt the extremists will find cracks in a process and try to promote their degeneracy, like the priests that use their power to abuse people and kids, but mostly kids. Yeah. I mean, that is why we need to get rid of dogmatic thinking. It is dogmatic thinking that allows those priests or these teachers to be in a position to either directly abuse children or to indoctrinate them into an ideology where they will, be severely messed up in one way or another. Dogmatic thinking, semantic obfuscation. Find a bigger issue. Find a bigger issue when it comes to how we talk about any issue. You can't. You can't, bro. You can't. I don't even know what that's from. And I've been saying it all week. You can't, bro. See, Michael says the Catholic Church is run by Jesuits these days. Okay, fair enough.
Called Antifa or hoodlums, antisocial folks who are here. 20 to 30 folks who segregated themselves with LGBTQ protesters. Then they moved away and went to a parking lot. They met a group of Armenian men. One of the Antifa attacked an Armenian man, and the men fought back. A father on the scene told the Post-Millennial. Parents went to the school board to demand information because the Glendale Unified School Board won't respond and take any actionable steps to tell parents what is happening or what will be taught. A father said to the Post-Millennial, "We want our voices to be heard, and we want acknowledgement from the superintendent that they are not acknowledging it," he said.
Hey, we got Splits in the building. What is good? What is good? What is good? Welcome to the party, brother. We are winning.
Andy No tweets, Antifa and supporters of children's pride events retreated following a fight outside Satakoy Elementary in Los Angeles. Mostly Armenian-American families gathered to protest the school's pride celebrations.
No, I'm not putting that up.
And continues, a violent cell of Antifa whose members have been convicted for...
I appreciate that, St. Michael, but I don't... Well, okay, I'll put it up, but I'm just going to say I don't agree. I don't agree. I think most people who are gay, just like the rest of us, want to live their lives. The only difference is instead of trying to find somebody with the opposite sex, they want to find somebody with their same sex. I'm not doing that. But you're free to think whatever you like. Frigo says Armenians, Cubans, and Koreans, the trinity of whoop ass. Zippy says to St. Michael, no, but you're negative try-harding so much to be a good hater. It looks like you're gay, hard gay, a self-loathing type, are we? No, this is not what this video is about. about how gay people are. That's what you think this video is about? Gays don't procreate, they indoctrinate. That's what you think? No, this video is about people who have morals, people who have values, are finally becoming the silent majority. They're finally starting to speak up. That's what this is about. This is about people who care about this country. People who care about the people of this country and specifically the children of this country, doing what needs to be done to protect the people of this country. Has nothing to do with gays being good or bad or anything like that. If you think that, you're free to think that. But no, that is not at all what this is about.
Violent conspiracy in San Diego calls for a rematch, direct action against the Armenian and Hispanic families protesting the Glendale USD school board over Pride events. This is what I find fascinating. These are overt political groups protesting dads, protesting families.
Dads.
The Daily Mail says Glendale Unified School District on Tuesday held a board meeting at which they were due to discuss recognizing June as Pride Month. The meeting attracted a large number of protesters and counter-protesters, as well as a significant police presence. The two sides began scuffling, and police stepped in to separate them, using their batons to beat the crowds back and making at least one arrest. I love this framing because let me tell you,
we were talking
a
about
far
it.
leftist who has merchandise, clothing that represents far left ideology is someone committed to their cause. A dude wearing a hoodie and jeans is likely just some random guy. So when you say counter protesters, I reject that. But that's what a lot of these news outlets try to do. They try,
and that's why I wanted to bring to bring focus to that as we were watching, because it's very obviously the unethical framing of what is happening. They're trying to obfuscate the semantics so that they can push their narrative because they know that they are losing. When you win, you don't have to fudge the details. When you're in the right, you don't have to fudge the details. It's when you're a piece of shit and you're wrong that you need to lie about it.
try to feign neutrality. We're not being neutral with these far left extremists. All right. A dude showing up in a jean jacket and jeans is not someone who is probably super politically active. A guy who shows up just with a hoodie, not likely politically active. Look at all these people, old dudes in jackets, moms in what appears to be a North Face jacket. These people do not seem to be a counter-protest group at all. It seems to be regular people. But when you look at the Antifa individuals, I mean, they have stickers, they have clothing, they're wearing uniforms. This is what we get. Eyewitness News. Los Angeles Unified School District unanimously passes resolution to encourage LGBTQ education for all schools. The resolution also served as the board's official recognition of June as Pride Month.
Oh, I thought we got it down to Pride Week. What happened to Pride Week? I don't know if you guys saw that. Like a bunch of companies have taken down the rainbow version of their logo already. It's now the 9th. And I've been hearing about this for a couple of days where like Xbox, I think, had their rainbow thing up for like 4 days. A bunch of companies, they're like, we're done with this. It's not helping us anymore. It was never about caring about trans people. What? No, it was never about that. It was about money. There was money to be made. And now there's less money to be made. And for Bud Light and Target, maybe money to be lost. And so just as much as they didn't care about you before, they don't care about you now. They're still just going with whatever makes them the most money. St. Michael says, I have to wonder how far this kind of stuff has to go before people will just be honest about it. Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's what this is about. That's what this video is about. This far. That's what I've been telling you. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, the following week. It's happening now. That is the point. People are waking up. People are standing up. I think for a long time, people have known what the answer to what is a woman. But people are finally comfortable saying it. And that's all that you need to do, is to say it. to speak out, and you will find other people who are speaking out about the same thing. And then you realize that you're not alone. You're not some weirdo who thinks that, like, I don't know, children should grow up before they mutilate their bodies. That actually most people do think this way. That, hold on, wait a minute. This whole trans ideology is a very fringe, radical thing. And maybe we need to get rid of it. That is what this is about. That is what is happening. Zibby says, marketing is a very strange business. Uses esoteric practices, after all. For sure. For sure. Read the gay manifesto. It says what I'm saying. Okay. I'm probably not going to, but I will take your word for it, sir.
Yeah, parents are going to have to say no to this. And they're going to have to show up and take their kids out of these schools.
And they are. Finally.
No question. Do it.
Do it.
But you know, I can tell you where this has been going for some time. Let me tell you. I remember when I was a kid, if you were under 16 years old and you weren't in school, you were truant. And the police would they would take you. And this is crazy to me. You think about it. It only ever happened to me one time, I think, curfew. So in Chicago, if you're under a certain age and you're out past a certain time, you're violating curfew. The cops will pick you up, bring you home, and make your parents sign something for violating curfew. It just seems absolutely insane to me that they have curfew for people under a certain age. But they also have truancy. If you are 14 or 15, or perceivably, the cops will stop you as you're walking around and say, why aren't you in school? And then they will pick you up and they will bring you home, and your parents get in trouble. Your parents can get, I believe, criminally charged. Chicago.
Oh, hell no.
That's crazy.
Think about what that means. Let's say in your school, they're introducing pedophilic material and they're trying to groom your kids. So you tell your kid you pull them out of that school. Well, now if your kid during school hours is walking around, or not only that, if you don't register your kid with some kind of schooling program or something, they will come find you and say you're abusing your kid.
Oh, yeah.
And this is obvious to me.
Oh, is that going to be the next battle? That they're going to try to play up this truancy thing, that homeschooling doesn't count as schooling. I can see it. I don't think it's gonna work. But let's see.
Where it goes. Indoctrination. Used to be that kids learn from their parents. Now, at least, I can't speak for other cities. Maybe you guys can comment below as to the cities you live in and what their laws are. But if a kid isn't in school and isn't registered anywhere, after a certain amount of time, they go for the parents and they say, you are abusing your child.
I think, yeah. Guys, I think that is going to be the next cultural battle, is that they're going to try to frame anybody who takes their kids out of school. They're going to frame it as the worst possible thing that you could do to your child while they're chopping theirs up. And it's not over. I didn't say it was over. I just said it was ending. We're still in it, but we're getting close. What?
What if the child's been removed from the school because of the abuse the school's doing to them? There are correspondence schools. So this is what I did when I was younger. They mail you your curriculum and then you just do the tests and mail them back. It seems silly because what we were doing when we were kids, me and my brother, we were completing 2 weeks of public schooling per day.
What?
Seriously. Schools are so broken, man. Let me
Makes
tell
sense,
you.
actually.
Here's how schools work. Monday, they say, open up your book to chapter or whatever. This week, we're going to be learning about this thing. And then you go through that chapter throughout the week. You do homework. And then Friday, you take a test. Did you master that course? That's how it was when I was a kid. I don't know about you guys. In 1 week, we read about this one thing over and over and over again every day until Friday we take a test.
So St. Michael says, all I'm talking about is the long-term survival of a group that does not procreate. How else, if not indoctrination, do you think they plan on doing it? I don't think they have a plan about, I don't think that's like an issue for gay people. I mean, I'm sure, well, maybe at this point, but we're talking in the context of being able to get married in the first place. We know, I mean, straight people don't even want to have kids anymore. I don't really understand. Like, plan on doing what? Living a happy life? I don't understand what it is that you think they plan on doing. There's no. This is very conspiratorial, as if there is a separate from the alphabet mafia that we are directly talking about. The people who are, where many gay individuals are speaking out against them. You're now saying that all those people are now in their own group who are planning on doing something. What is the something? I mean, all marriage is an insurance scam, bro. Like, if you're not if it's not straight a Christian or religious ceremony, then it's an insurance scam. Absolutely, it is. But it has nothing to do with whether you're gay or not. That's America.
Silly. What we would do with correspondence school is
so you're saying, typical way that we do school is you open your on Monday, open your book to chapter 6, talk about the chapter throughout the week, and then on Friday you take the test.
We would get mailed books, and they would say, once you complete all of these tests, like complete the test, send it in. Just do it. So you have the
making what argument? I've said a lot of things. We've been on for almost 3 hours. You got to be more specific.
Book, the workbook and the test book. The test book has all the tests. The workbook has all of the curriculum. So what would we do? We would read the chapter in an hour and then take the test for that chapter, fold it up, put it in an envelope.
If I knew that that was an option growing up, then I mean, it would have been so much easier. It would have been so much easier. Why isn't that the default option? That if you're smart enough and you have the resources to pay attention to this, why do you need to be on the program that is meant for the dumbest kid, so that everybody no child left behind, right? So the argument, most of them aren't like that argument. You are making that argument based on the anomaly and not the mean. No, I'm making that argument based on the idea that individuals are individuals, and being gay doesn't automatically put you in the only thing that affects your thinking by being gay is your attraction. What you want or don't want is not dictated by your sexual orientation. The same way that my morals are not dictated by whether or not I believe in a God or not, or not. So let's say I'm wrong then. Let's say that I'm saying most of them aren't like that, and you're saying sadly that isn't the case. Okay, fine. Make your argument. Do I think Dave Rubin or Pete Buttigieg's adopted sons are going to turn out straight? I don't care. What? No. Hold on. How do you know that most of them are like that? Now you've made a claim now. I've accepted. Okay, I could be wrong. You're saying I could be wrong. I'm saying, okay, maybe I'm wrong. You're saying that is not the case. Okay, then what is the case? Or how do you know that that isn't the case? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know whether any kids are going to turn out straight or gay or anything else. I did not say I don't care. I just said I don't care. I don't care whether or not their kids are going to be straight. But I do. I'm not saying. I'm asking you how to. You want to come up? You want to come up? Come on up, brother. Come on up. Here's the link. Whenever you're ready, pal. It's right there. Anyway.
The curriculum. So what would we do? We would read the chapter in an hour and then take the test for that chapter, fold it up, put it in an envelope. Then we'd read the next chapter, take the test, fold it up, put it in an envelope. We'd mail them both out. 2 weeks of public schooling done in a day. And so we basically finished an entire 4 years.
That's
extremely
awesome.
Quickly in a matter of months.
That's awesome.
So why are schools this way?
No child left behind.
Why do schools take so long? Why do they function the way they do? It's very weird, isn't it? I certainly
say, Michael, please use the like same name or similar name or something, and you do have to cam up, please.
Don't think it makes sense. Now, you can see how they operate, and how they're operating now, I think, is particularly important in that what's mostly happening to your kids, are they learning to balance a checkbook? No. Are they even learning about the birds and the bees? No. And that's where you get things, I think, get fairly obvious. When they're bringing your kids into a school where they're teaching them about gay sex before they teach them about general reproduction, don't you have some questions to ask?
Yes, I do. Hey, we got Kelly Green in the building. What is good? What is good? What is good? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. And good morning. Welcome. Frigo says schools aren't meant for efficient learning. They're meant to have somewhere for parents to go to work and not have to think about them for several hours. Yep. It's to train them to be on a schedule so that they can go into the corporate world and make more money for more other people.
And this is what I've been saying for a while. You want to talk about sex ed for kids? I think it's completely reasonable that Florida said parental rights and education bill. You don't teach kids these things. Parents have, are the ones who will ultimately decide what's right for their kids.
For those of you who may not be as aware, that's the Don't Say Gay bill, which actually doesn't say, don't say gay or straight or anything like that. Just in case you didn't know.
But shouldn't the first thing you do is teach a child about general birds and bees?
Yep.
After that, then they can start to learn about atypical relationships. Why?
That's a really good point too, because why would you think it's appropriate to teach algebra before you teach addition and subtraction? That's literally what they're doing with sex. They're trying to teach kink before they teach like literally reproduction. Why? And people are noticing, as we can see from the brawl that wasn't reported on, wasn't some event that was heavily reported on, people flocked to. This was an organic thing.
Why should teachers be providing books to children about butt plugs? I'm not exaggerating. Ron DeSantis banned this.
Just came up when you're ready, Ron.
It's because they're pedophiles. I am not being cute. I am not being angry. I am being descriptive. An adult like this woman, actually, where was that woman? I think it's, let me see if I can, I want to make sure I get this because knowing where this teacher is, Illinois. It was an Illinois teacher named Sarah Bonner who was instructing
Sarah Bonner
children on how to use adult anonymous gay sex apps. She was instructing her children. I'm going to pull this up, okay? I'm going to pull this up because
are you not okay, whatever. All right, let's do this. Where's the thingy? All right. If you fuck my shit up, dude, I'm going to be very, very upset. Welcome, St. Michael of Cigarillo, to the channel. What is good? What is good?
Well, I don't plan on fucking your shit up, but I guess I may say things that are not.
Well, no,
YouTube
usually we ask
appropriate,
people to
suppose.
cam up because it could be very easy to, just flash some BS that would get my channel taken down. But I trust that you won't do that.
No.
So,
All right, let me ask you this. Hold on, real fast. Let me ask you this. Okay, so you're putting me in the position where I have to prove something. Okay, how about
you put yourself in that position?
How about you prove it? Can you prove that
you're
the
the one who
majority
made
of
the
them
claim.
are not?
No. That's not
No,
how it
why
works.
are you automatically defending them? Is my point.
Because I know a bunch of gay people, and they're not part of any.
You're literally watching a Tim Pool video about homosexuals pushing degeneracy on small children.
We're talking about
in
trans
schools.
activists pushing.
So okay, so do
you understand the difference between
what I said previously
hold
in the chat?
Dude, you cannot talk over me. Do you understand the difference? When I'm for the purposes of this conversation, do you understand what I'm saying when I say a trans activist versus a trans person or a gay person?
Okay, so
that's a question. That's a question.
So I'm conflating homosexuality.
Hold on. If you're gonna come up on my channel, you're going to speak the way that I want you to speak. If I ask you a question, please do me the favor of answering it, because when you ask me questions, I answer them.
Oh my God.
Go
This is
ahead.
ridiculous. Okay,
It is
so,
ridiculous. That's
so
why I brought
I'm
you up here.
conflating. So you think I'm conflating homosexuality with pedophilia?
No. I
Right?
asked you a question. Do you remember what that question was? I can ask it again.
Well, no matter what I say, I'm conflating.
Do you
homosexuality
remember the
with
question?
pedophilia.
Bro, I'm trying. I brought you up here. I'm trying to have a conversation. Stop trying to win an argument and just have a conversation with me. The question was, do you understand what I mean when I say that, when I talk about the difference between trans activists and a trans person or a gay person?
So you're suggesting
it's a yes or no question.
No,
Do
what
you,
you're
okay, you go ahead. You go ahead, and then I'll just
that-
ask you when you're done.
is that there is a level of normalcy here, and then there's a level of extremism. That's what you're suggesting when you say that, right?
So, do you understand the difference, what I mean, when I say a trans activist versus a trans person or a gay person?
That's what you're saying. Yes. I mean, is that not what you're saying? When
That
you're
is
saying
what I'm
a
saying. I'm
trans or
asking you
gay
to understand
person,
what I
you're
mean
saying
by that
they are normal.
differentiation.
You are saying that a trans or gay person is a normal person, whereas a trans activist is an extremist. That's what you're saying, right?
Sure, let's go with that. Fine.
I
Yes.
mean, that is it, right?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And by me saying that there's really not much of a difference, then you're saying that I'm conflating homosexuality with these behaviors, with pedophilia, with child molestation, with grooming, with indoctrination, things like that, right?
Yeah. If you think it's all, if you think it's all people who aren't straight and
well, not all, obviously. Just like
okay,
you
so
could
then
say
how do
the
you?
not all
So,
with
okay,
plenty
so,
of other groups and different topics.
okay, so let's go
You
back
can
to what
always
you
use
said
the
back.
not all, right?
Sure. Okay. So, so then there's exceptions, but would you say it's the majority?
Yes.
So you're saying the majority of people, where is it?
Who identify with the rainbow ideology? Yes.
So you, and you said they are, they don't indoctrinate, they, or they don't procreate, they indoctrinate. That's
Yes.
how they, okay. So you said the long-term survival of a group that does not procreate. How else, if not indoctrination, do you think they plan on doing it?
Yes.
So
You wanna
define
answer
what
the
you mean.
question?
Define what you mean by doing it. What is it?
Survival of the species, survival of the group, just like I said in the question. Can you answer the
Okay.
question? How else, if not indoctrination, do you think they plan on sustaining their group?
I don't think that they think of themselves as a group in the same way that the activists think of themselves as a group. In the same way that I am an atheist and I don't build my entire identity around being an atheist, these people, the people that I know,
I'll tell
are
you this
gay,
much.
and it's just part of their personality. It's not who they are.
When you go in these atheist circles, you do find a whole lot of homosexuality. You find a whole
Mhm.
lot of defending homosexuality. That's like, it's a given.
And
It
you would be-
really is a given when you
Probably a lot
talk
more than you
with
would be used to, right?
atheists. A lot more than I'm used to. Well,
Yeah, or
you're-
are you in those atheist circles?
let's just say this. I'm gonna speak in some terminology here that is more your lingo here, I suppose. Morality is subjective.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
There, what go? What? I know you think you did a thing, but what is the?
I did
what
do
is-
a thing, absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm
I
too
don't-
dumb then.
it's
I'm
not
too
my
dumb.
fault you
Explain
didn't
to me.
pick up on
Explain to me the dunk you just got on me for agreeing that morality is subjective.
Well, there's some typical atheist stuff here. It's a
Okay,
way
what does
of
that have to do with gay people and having them
explaining
all having an
away
agenda, or
things.
not
It's
all,
a way of
but most?
justifying things. It's a way of normalizing things. It's subjective. Morality is subjective.
Okay.
This is where you get
Okay.
into this denial of religion, and it really goes into more of a
Let's
being
stay
able
on topic.
to justify
Let's stay on topic.
depravity.
Let's stay on topic. You were making the claim that most, not all, there are exceptions, but most people who are the rainbow people, LGBTQ, whatever, most of them are trying to do a thing. And you said that thing is to procreate and keep themselves going. My response to that is I don't believe that the people who are of that persuasion, the quote unquote normal ones, the ones that are not the activists, the ones that are not, in your face about it, the ones that were like the ones that we saw on TikTok. I don't think that they care very much about their legacy in the same way that a lot of people do. I've never heard anybody care about that.
So you're suggesting then that you believe that the majority of homosexuals are okay with the possibility of homosexuality dying off, like it no longer being a thing, that they're okay with that.
Yes.
You honestly believe that?
Well, what other option would there be? If you are gay and you cannot procreate without going against your sexual orientation, then you're probably not going to procreate. So that's probably not on your list of shit to do. It's probably just get a job, find somebody you love, maybe adopt a kid, live your life, be happy, and then die.
Well, now you're talking
as
about
you
said,
there's so much atheism in this space. Most of these people aren't even going to think about an afterlife.
I find it hard to believe that you honestly believe that the majority of gay people are okay with the possibility of homosexuality no longer existing on planet Earth.
What is the other option? So that's what I'm asking about.
Well, how else does a group that does not procreate sustain their group? I mean, it's really that simple. I mean, you're watching a Tim Pool video about it. You don't want to admit it, but that's what the video is about. That's what the Target thing's
waking
about.
Up to all of the shit that we've been talking about for years.
It's about homosexuality being further pushed into our mainstream society as normal. I mean, that's what the pushback is.
Their sexual orientation.
Is that or is that not what the pushback is all about?
No, it's not because of their sexual orientation. It's because of their influence on children, on society, on language, etc. It's not about who they're fucking and whether they're going to procreate at all.
So you think if they were only talking about heterosexual stuff in schools, that they would have this same kind of pushback?
I mean, if it got this far, if we were having stripper story time, then I think a lot of Christian parents would not.
Well, you wouldn't have stripper story time if they were only.
You just asked that. You just asked if it was only straight.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't have a problem with a gay person.
Well, you have to use an extreme example here now.
But that is precisely the fucking point, dude. This is all extreme.
That is my point. That is right. Because homosexuals are pushing their extreme behavior. That is right.
And that is why at the beginning of this, I specifically asked you if you understand what I mean when I say the difference between these activists and the people.
I'm conflating is what you're saying.
Okay,
I'm conflating, which is what I said in the chat. How long do we have to wait before that kind of response gets laughed at, just straight up laughed at? Because it deserves to be laughed at, honestly. I mean, look at how far things are going. Look how fast it's going.
Okay,
so
what's your solution?
Response deserves to be.
What's your solution then?
What's my solution is to be honest about it.
Okay.
To be honest about it.
So you be honest, and then all the gays die.
What?
Oh, it has to be genocide, right? So I'm a Nazi now, right?
I'm being facetious because that's not an answer.
I'm
asking,
the Nazi.
what is your solution? You're saying that the gays are coming for your kids.
Well, here you go.
I'm asking, what is your solution? And you think telling the truth is just going to magically make all the
well, I think we stopped running damage. I think we stopped running damage control for the homosexual community, for starters. How about we stop doing that?
Why?
How about we stop tiptoeing around what they're doing and the things that they do?
Why?
Why do
we care about whether gay people want to fuck other dudes? Why do you?
Well, do you care about the spread of disease in the community?
Yeah.
Well, you do know that homosexuals spread disease at a far higher rate.
So do heroin addicts.
So do heroin addicts. What kind of diseases do they spread?
Hepatitis, the same shit. Hepatitis, AIDS, HIV.
Well, here you go. Let me ask you this one about needle sharing then. If two straight men
hold on.
only share needles with each other.
Hold on. We're not going to blaze past that. Your entire argument just fell apart. Your entire argument just fell apart. Do I care about diseases? Yes.
You're trying to straw man me is what's going on.
You asked me a question. Do I care about diseases, infections, and shit? I said yes. And you said gay people are doing this, that, and whatever. And I said, so are heroin addicts. What does that mean? What should we do? So should we then be, speaking about how awful the people who are heroin addicts are and not about addiction?
Here you go. If the homosexuality wasn't there, then the heroin addicts wouldn't be spreading the diseases at as high of a rate
I'm sorry.
because they're contracting them from the
I'm sorry. Can you, well,
homosexuals
hold
and the
on.
needle sharing.
I missed that. Can you say it one more time, please?
If there was less homosexuality involved in the heroin needle sharing, then the heroin needle sharers would be spreading less disease.
Okay, so now all the people who are gay and the activists and people who use heroin you're now conflating all of them in one group?
Well, you brought up needle sharing. All I'm
Yes,
doing
because
is
it
being
is a
more
perfect
specific
example
in
of something that is
regards to,
not in the group.
disease being spread in needle sharing.
What? I don't understand how that's relevant to what we're talking about.
Apparently, the damage control for the homosexuality community is too great in you. I mean, I'm conflating again. I'm conflating.
I know you are.
In your eyes,
that was the question. Are you
I will
conflating now
always
not just
be
gay people, but
conflating.
trans activists
And as I said
and people who use
previously in
needles?
chat,
They're all people who
how
are trying to.
extreme does this kind of stuff have to go on in our society before that response gets laughed at? Because it deserves to be laughed at. I mean, look what you're
Then laugh
watching
away,
right
brother.
here with
Laugh
this Tim
away.
Pool, the
Laugh
Target
away.
stuff. It's homosexuality being pushed on your children. Is it any other kind of sexual lifestyle being pushed on them?
Yes.
Is it? What is it? What?
It's changing your gender, which is not the same
Heterosexuality?
thing as sexual orientation.
Hetero-
If you want
a
to
gender and sexual identity is
shoot this
different?
shit down, you have to understand it. Do you understand
Okay,
the difference between
so
being gay and being trans?
Is gender a social construct?
Do you
I mean,
understand?
that's what you're going.
Do you understand the difference between being gay and being trans?
They're both homosexuals.
So that's a no.
They're both homosexual. Well, here you go. Up until recently, I don't know
If
that
you
the
would just
CD
answer, then I wouldn't have to fucking guess.
I will answer.
It's a yes or no
When-
question.
If you would,
Do you
quit
think
cutting me
gay
off.
people and
Yes.
trans people
They
are the same
yes.
thing?
Yes, they are homosexuals. Yes. The CDC was classifying them
Okay,
as such
so you're telling
up
me
until very
I just wanna
recently.
make sure-
I don't
okay,
even
I
know
just
that
wanna
they've
make sure I'm
changed
clear
it, as a
on this.
matter of fact.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. So you think a guy who was biologically a male,
Yes.
born with a dick,
Mhm.
he transitions and tries to be a woman, but he still likes women.
Dylan Mulvaney. Right.
Perfect example. So you are either saying that you accept that Dylan Mulvaney is a woman
No,
for it to
no,
be
no,
homosexuality,
no. What you're
or
saying is
they're
Dylan
not
Mulvaney
a
is
woman
straight.
and it's straight.
Is Dylan Mulvaney straight or gay?
I think Dylan Mulvaney is a man, therefore he would be straight in my eyes. He's telling the world that he's telling the world that
Oh my
he
God! You just said Dylan Mulvaney is straight, dude. I can't believe this shit.
I messed that. I
Oh
believe
my
he is a
God.
man, so if he's interested in other men, I would say he is gay. But if you are to accept, that he is a woman and he's into men, then that would be heterosexual.
Let me
So
ask you this one.
either you either accept that that a man
Oh
can
my
transform into a
God.
female, or that gay and trans are different things. Those are mutually exclusive ideas.
It's all faggotry, dude. It's all faggotry.
All right, come on. I tried. I tried, bro. You can't be saying that shit. I specifically warned you. You cannot be saying that shit. This is the other side of it, guys. This is the other side of it. If you think that what we just saw is going to help anyone, I agree. We agree. St. Michael and I agree. You are weak as fuck. If you think that is going to change minds, if you think that is going to improve society, if you think that is going to get people of your line of thinking, then oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait to like clip this up and repost it. And everybody's like, oh my God, what a loser. Oh, it's already going to Rumble. Oh man. If you think that that is how you're going to convince people of your way of thinking, you are in for a long, long, long life of disappointment and loneliness. I tried. You're talking over me. You were being rude. You were trying to, get your little digs in. And still, what do I always say, guys? Stop trying to. Oh, trust me, I will. I don't think it's going to work out for you, but stop trying to win arguments and just have a conversation. You came in fucking hot, bro. We're all friends here. I don't know why you got to try and dunk on me. I started off saying, okay, you can be right. Explain to me how you are right. And that's how you behave. And I'm supposed to model myself after you?
What?
All right, let's see. Okay. You did nothing but defend homosexuality. Well, yeah, I mean, if you were saying homosexuality is the worst thing ever, then I'm going to disagree with that. And use the exact same excuse I said you was in chat. You are conflating because you are conflating. If you're saying trans people and gay people and people who have people who use heroin are all in the same group who are trying to push some agenda on your kids because they can't procreate,
what?
Then yes, you are conflating. No, I don't have kids. What does that do? Make you right? Okay. Well, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to just go to Discord or do you want to finish the video? We got about 4 minutes left. Let me know. Which is exactly why I should think that you would care more about what I have to say than I do. But, you know, unlike, you know, the Christians, I don't have to say, I don't have to have skin in the game to care about other people. But no, motherfuckers, I'm asking you. Okay, free ego. Thank you so much for sponsoring the stream. You make the decision. So we are going to end there and head over to whoa. Okay, one more person, because Unwanted Foe signed up for. I'm not gonna ban you. No, free speech. You're here. You're good. I mean, if you want to come and finish this conversation in Discord, you are more than welcome. No, that's not how we play things here. But free ego is a sponsor, and Unwanted Foe is a new member. So I need a split the vote. Somebody split the vote. Video or Discord? Video or Discord? Video or Discord? And Dan Jensen. Thank you so much once again. Oh, he's getting lazy now. Come on, boy. There you go. Yeah, if you talk over me, then I will meet you because you don't know how to act like an adult. Discord. All right. Thank you so much to everything that you guys have brought with me. You know, I was not really sure what how this was going to turn out. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed, you know, this this little mixture of things. Maybe not a mixture, but you know, different sources to come to a single point. I think that you know, it's not as easy as just finding a video and reacting to it. That's for sure. But I do want to level my game up, and I want to do my best for you guys. So I will try. I'm not promising that we're gonna, you know, everything is gonna be all over the place. Once in a while, when I get something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it more and more and more. But now that I know you guys like it, I definitely will try to do it more. And thank you so much to the Free Ego for sponsoring the stream, for Dan Jensen for always dropping a little something. It means so much to me that you never ever come by without dropping something. And we got a new member. Welcome to the Disciples Unwanted Foe. Make sure you join us in Discord if you haven't already. The link is in the description, and if one of the mods could drop that link one more time, that is where we are headed. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. And what did you think about the conversation? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much. Once again, this is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.